See you guys on Monday. Yes. Same bad time, same bad channel. Peace out.
Take it easy. Right to us. What big desk? I feel like this is just, it's a trading desk. Big desk. The big desk is up there because it's literally twice as big, but to each their own. What's crazy about it is it's funny, like there's so many, it's not funny how many bad stocks and bad charts there are out there, but it's funny when Obi was mentioning AAL, and I'm like, what? AAL can't actually be that bad. I'm like, we've been talking about how crappy Intel's chart looks and Snapchat, how bad it was. My goodness, AAL that's nasty too. There's a lot of bottom breaks out there. The market has been relatively weak, but you've had some sideways action going on in the NASDAQ. Sorry, I was just looking at AAL because Obi brought it up. But it's been a choppy afternoon holding the downtrend. So let's think about it that way. Like you've got lower highs kind of working toward the bottom, it seems like at least. So I think the theme is, not to be boring, but short weak stocks, try to find longs in stocks that are relatively strong. And if you don't know what something is, then either try to figure it out or don't trade it, right? So Tesla is a weak stock. It's at the low of the day, 5 points to the downside. It might take out the bottom here. Just looking to see if it can hold this very, very steep trend that it's in. And I remembered I actually rolled back to the old version of P Pro 8. So I got to redraw any trend line that I had before because none of those are saved. So there's the trend line on Tesla, and I feel like shorting some pops in there. I got away from this after it broke down at 210 and held this 208 level, but I'm looking back over here at Tesla. Maybe a VWAP retracement if we can find one or two to the downs. Well, I mean, I guess we'll be back to the upside on some weaker names, but I like Tesla on this trend line. If it breaks the top, I think it's one of those you can just kind of jump out of it.
All right. Hey, everybody. Yeah, we're back, and we're just long Apple, short DraftKings. We can talk about both of those if you guys were paying attention during the midday show. Of course, it was Obi and Adara. You'll notice that we were talking about DraftKings, and Obi was looking at this too. I really like this play. It's coming right back into the bottom again. So we shorted this, and this was another play that we had talked about. Breaking through, right? So, there it goes. So it's like DraftKings right there to the downside gives you that opportunity. You're looking for different opportunities throughout the day. And sometimes it's like these little undercover ones that gives you the trade, right? And it's like DraftKings right there broke down 10%. Had nothing to do with how much it was down. It's down below these levels. And then it came right back into, I just watched it go back up to the upside there. It just was coming into some of these pre-market levels and stuff. Areas where I thought we could try to defend 33. So that's exactly what we did. And now, for 20 cents worth of risk, this is now $1 and change in the money. And then the other name as, we keep saying what type of trader we are, right? Relative strength and weakness. And that's what Neil said there. And it's so true. And we just went right back into Apple right now. I'll show you. We were trading NVIDIA back and forth. I'll show you we actually did pretty good just now on it before it broke through. But there it is right now, Apple back into the long and see if we can take out the day's high. Over lunch, I sold some Apple there. Really, really good trade. I didn't sell anything from my long basket for long term, but we had bought some down here once we broke through this 50 period. It was actually at 169 something. And so we got some out last time at 228. And then we had just gotten some out now at 224-ish. I remember the price. So something good there for a little bit of Apple. I don't know. I don't like to sell strong names, but
take it and buy some bangers and mash. I don't know.
No. The money's just going to go into cash for now and not coming out.
No, I only said that. Obviously, Sean's going to London, right?
Yes,
so
that should be lots of fun.
What else? What food do they have in London? It's like England's not a place that's known for great food. I don't know. Don't at me or anything like that if you're into the food that you find in England. I've only been once, and I never found it that impressive. I'm going to be eating like a champion in November when I go to Rome. But I'm just looking for a couple of other names out there, and one of them that came to my attention is this, Snapchat. So since breaking VWAP to the downside, it was parabolic early, and then did one reversal, couldn't get to VWAP. But since breaking VWAP, it's got these lower highs that are lining up pretty interestingly here. If it takes out, this is 953, so this wick kind of hard to see. If it takes out 953, like this little top, I might look for a little breakout to the back end of that trend line here on Snapchat. just a review, if you guys are just tuning in now and aren't sure of why Snapchat looks like this, it's because not that bad of an earnings report, but their average revenue per user was bad. And I said it this way, Adair was like, well, why is Snapchat getting that punished? It's not that, it wasn't that bad of a report. My response was, well, it wasn't as good as Meta's, and they still managed to sell that one the next day. So if the market was going to sell Meta's earnings, what chance did Snapchat have, really? Let's be real for a second. So if it breaks this trend since it broke VWAP, then I want to look for a potential reversal. I guess I should be scalping the other side of this, which is just short back into it. But that range at the bottom is literally 10 cents. So you'd have to have this at pretty much 44 to give it to 46. Otherwise, not worth it. That's why I think the break might be a bit better, because you have more room for it to run if it breaks upside.
All right, I'm going to try Apple again. So we got out, we got in, we're back in right now. And again, we don't want to make a complete mess of ourselves here. 222, 222, it's a 223.24 right now. 222.50 or so, maybe on a break if we do get back into there, if we're going to get stopped out on this name. Where am I buying more here? I was going to start to buy some more at O's, but let me just see here what it wants to do. I'd rather buy it at VWAP, so this is why we're looking at this, 222.50 or so. So I'm going to try to buy it around 222.60, see if we get some love into that for Apple. Otherwise, let's just hold on for a second. It is starting to pull back in. It's funny, we just mentioned that we sold some in our own account, but right now we're talking about live trading and what we're putting on right here, right now. Of course, none of that's financial advice, and neither is this. This is just what I'm trying to do, trading-wise, here to make a little bit of cash. So there it is. Nice dip buys off VWAP, nice dip buys off VWAP. We should be patient again and just wait for VWAP. So we only have probably, so just doing the math about what we'll probably have, we probably have about 25%, maybe 30% of our position right now. So we're going to wait for that 60s to 70 fill to come in right here on that. What's been really strong right now actually is NVIDIA. So we were just short into here, and we were sort of showing that. We were scalping before eventually it get taken out. I don't really know where the short would be now because we're up to the 200 period moving average on NVIDIA. So if anything, 106.50, I would say it might even be a break long trade here for NVIDIA. So I would say watch out for that. I mean, I've got my long sort of wrapped up right now with Apple. DraftKings, I mean, if you're in this name, I don't want to give too much back. I mean, we could punch out right here, right now. That's not a horrible idea. 31.86. So let's just do that. I don't even have a stop anymore on DraftKings. 31.91. What am I doing? 31.91. Did I just not hit the right key? There it is. Okay, 100%. So if we get back up there to the upside, we will punch out of the remainder of DraftKings. It is $1 in the money right now. All right. Sorry, that's not Apple. That's NVIDIA. Apple right now trying to get going again. We're long right here at 50. It's at 50. So let's see where we go. But NVIDIA is the one that could possibly be another punch long situation. That's 106.50.
Maybe Amazon too. It's so easy to forget that Amazon is short sell restricted.
I waited just a little bit more.
SSR, like I keep forgetting that Amazon is SSR, and I should want to be playing bounces on the stock where you can. Short sell restricted, just a little bit easier for it to rally. Shout out to everyone in the chat that just mentioned that Amazon is making a nice reversal of its own in here. So if I can maybe pick something up off 166, I want to see if we can buy the dip. I did make that play. Again, I took Snap at 45. That's a very tight range. It's a very tight range on Snapchat. If it breaks 47, it's the other direction that it could be going to the upside. So this is really trying to break out on Amazon. That or NVIDIA, though, that is the question. NVIDIA or Amazon? Amazon could break out first. I think it might just be that simple. We'll see. You can see Amazon's trying to take out this. It's like 166.85, I guess, is that local range. So we'll let it get there if it can. Tesla is also testing the top end of this range, trying to break a bit of a reversal here on Tesla potentially. Let's see how much strength it has in it. I think I want to fade into this if it makes one more pop. And if it breaks, just a simple out on that trend. Like, look how cleanly it's held the trend line. Worth a shot here at least. If we can pick it up. Let us know anything you guys are watching out here that might be moving. We know what's going to be aftermarket, which is going to be some hot fire with Raider, Trader, and Sean, and then we'll see what happens with AMC earnings. Have you made your guess yet at Stonks? Have you made your? Well, the QR code's right there.
And go over and make that move.
Yeah, I mean, you got to make your move on it. Let's see if we can do it right now. Might as well. The Stonks is right there. I haven't gotten into Tesla just yet, but the only big one aftermarket is going to be AMC. So you're going to want to scan the QR code right there, click the link in the description for a free opportunity to guess what price will AMC be at 4:30. It's that simple. You put your guess in. There's a $1,000 prize pool, of which first place $250, second $150, third place $100. And if you make 3 guesses, you could actually have all 3. If you, I guess, have all the same prices in the same range, then you can win 1, 2, and 3. It is actually possible. So get your guesses in there. I am going to. Oh, that's right. I've already made my guesses. 420 and 422. I did that thing where I'm layering. I couldn't help myself. I was like, I'm going to pick 420, then I'm going to pick something adjacent to 420. So my guess is already in there for free. And I was able to win on Meta, although I did not win on Apple. I don't know if you won on Apple there, Sean. So scan the QR code, check out stonks.com with the either description below in our feed, or just scan that QR code. It's absolutely free, and it's always a lot of fun to maybe get some trash talk. And if somebody if somebody takes down the whole thing for fun, you can talk some smack to everybody. So. You know,
I mean, imagine you made $250 for nothing.
Exactly.
Right
That's
there.
more than a latte, I'll tell you that much.
I just made my my bet there. I'll explain it when we do it in a couple minutes. Make sure you guys get that QR code signed up and ready to rock and roll. Okay, so here comes Apple. I mean, we said the prices that we thought we could possibly get down here right now. So I'll put it a little bit on in case we don't get exactly to those levels, but I'm waiting for 222.60 to see if that wants to come into play one more time here for Apple. Again, you know, just trying to see here if there is going to be something. And again, could have just dip bought it. We're long at 30s. This is not a huge position. This is not anything that we're worried about. I'm just worried about averaging in and getting the right prices. And we should have just got that right down there. But I said we wouldn't be too anxious with it. We did get an 05 on the way down, giving us this average price, but it's still a nothing burger. Really, at the end of the day, we wait to see if we can get into the 60s and watch out for that view up at 50. And then if it breaks that, then we will be out of there for that. All right, Palantir. I mean, look, it's so funny because, we just got stopped out on DraftKings. Okay, props it up, man. I mean, DraftKings is going to be a big stock for me. It's actually going to be. There it is. Oh, man, that's funny. It's embarrassing to say this because I only have, it's not embarrassing at all. I mean, the trade worked out. We put on shares, fine. But this will be my #1 stock today, will be DraftKings, and it's not normally that way. We're going to see if Apple can be into that level sort of as well right now. We've taken, we did take a couple hits when Apple did drop down here, but able to do well on it back in. We traded the TQQs a bit. We could talk about that. NVIDIA, I'm just trying to find out the next trade, which is always going to be important because going over trades we've already made is fine, but not much action there. Yeah, that's
no breakout, I guess.
Yeah, so that 106.50 level. That's the thing. Like sometimes you think you find the right levels, and we've had this numerous times, including Amazon today, where we were long at 165 and then dumped it and went short and made back the short, and then we went long again at 161. And Obi turns over to me when it's at 167.50. Do I still have it? He knew I didn't have it. Okay, so another name here that was all the way to the downside that's been really disgusting as of late is Shopify. Shopify is broken all through the levels right now and is getting lower, lower, lower. This stock has to be a buy at some point, right? And I don't know, kind of rhetorical question there. Does everything have to be a buy? I don't know. You're all the way back to almost, it's not going to go red on the year by any stretch of the, we've already gone way red on the year on this name. I was looking at this October low here. Those are the lows that a lot of stocks are looking at right now. That could be an area to buy 50 into 47, 48. Yeah, when I was doing I was saying it's not going to go over the year high, but it's right here. This is where we've dumped off from. So we started the year in and around 70. I mean, if you take the very first, you're around $80, $75, now down to 50. So this name really getting killed this year as well, Shopify. Okay, so we got our Apple. Now it's not necessarily the apple of my eye quite yet. Here it comes right in. We're going to try this through 50. It looks like it's going to break lower now and get into that 50 level. So unfortunately, we're trying it here, and it just doesn't look like it wants to get it. So, maybe there's some sort of a pressure point here for Apple, but this market's at a tipping spot right now. We thought we would trade a name that was a little bit stronger here. And although Apple's done quite well for us here today, it looks like it wants to give up this last little push here into the close. So, darn it. Yeah, it just tried up to 70 there. There's the break. There's the break soon for that 50 level on Apple. So, all right, nice little move there for that name. Sorry, guys, we're the wrong way. It looks like we tried. There it is. We tried to get strength in that name, and it just fell out. So there goes Apple. We'll have to flush that one down the. There it is, down the toilet as it breaks through 50. I almost want to get back in on this level right now, but that's it, right? So that's the idea. We actually get that level. We get that break. We got 49.5s. We get a little bit of a half print there for the flush down. So that was long. What I say was 79s out 50, so 30 cents there on Apple.
And in the most logical thing ever, when Apple decides to break support, Snapchat decides to break its downward trend. Because obviously, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, the stock that should be bought today, and I mean, outside of every one of us running to the hills to go grab some intel, we should clearly all just be buying Snapchat because that's the best looking chart. No, all jokes aside, this is the reversal on Snapchat. See, should have just played the trend reversal instead of the trend short.
Damn.
So that's the reversal of the trend line. Obi would probably, I mean, he would, you know what, he probably salivate at that, like with a clear trend reversal. I had it in front. I was starting to scalp out of it. Then it broke. Tesla, exactly the same thing. Wow, that's a quick move. Tesla, exactly the same thing. It wicks the top, and it's trying to get through the 206.5. It can't do it. I feel like if this breaks, maybe this is a reversal too through 207.5. So I'm thinking if we're going to be breaking trends, maybe I want to be the other direction on that trend line instead of trying to run. Like if it's hitting the trend line and not running away from it like it was before, like look at it run away, look at it run away, look at it run away. Like every time it's gone here, you're not exactly struggling to flush. And I think that's exactly what's happening. Like you're going 25 to 40 cents in the money when before, when it hit this trend line, it would be 60 to 70 cents almost instantly. Could be a time of day thing. We'll see. If it doesn't start to go a lot faster, I'm going to put the reversal on if this breaks 207.50 on Tesla. Because I think a break of trend, it could go halfway to VWAP, and you're talking about $1.50. Halfway. That's not bad at all. So we'll see about Tesla. Snapchat should have been a reverse. That's on me. We definitely should have reversed that trade. And we talked about NVIDIA not giving us the breakout trade. It is what it is. That was the right level. I suppose shorting NVIDIA was the right call at said level. And Amazon's still trying to break out. So at least Amazon's still relatively strong. I mean, it's right here at 166. It's not really 66.5. It's like 66.85 or something that it needs to break out. So Amazon's still very much in the pocket and could go. Relatively strong stock, despite being, it's weird to say when it's down 9.5% to call stock relatively strong, but it's above VWAP when the market is trending down into the lows. So it's about the price action more than it is, the percent up or down on the day.
All right, you want to talk about missing the reversal. I mean, our out on, we were standing there watching Apple and we're like, our out is 22.50, our out is 22.50. We got 22.50. We saved ourselves 50 cents, which is great because now it's at 22. That should have been reversed, but, ifs and buts. I mean, at this point, right? I mean, this market there's so many opportunities in this market right now. It's just about finding the right ones. I mean, we could have easily shorted this as well. This double top on NVIDIA, topped out, boom. And you already know it's a weak name. We've already talked about this. We've already said maybe we even get back to that 101.50 area that we hit earlier on that we completely ignored for some reason. It's craziest. I mean, it's crazy to say this, but it's August 2nd again. And that might have been, we'll see, man. I'm not going to be here all next week, but that to give you that trade
the 100
off of that level. No, just this 101.50. Because
the 101.50. Okay,
we screamed down there. We bounced off of it. We bounced off 101.50 before. The low of Microsoft was like $100.55. Just feel like if you just put on a couple hundred shares right there, your risk is that it breaks 100. And I don't even think you need to hold it that far against you. I mean, the risk could be if it breaks 101 even, and then you get out for the 50 cents. The problem is, we went down the spiral because the one that Amazon broke 165 right here, we just got such a bad fill on the cover that I was like, oh my God, there's no liquidity. So I just went short. And then that was like a monster. You want to talk about reading tape and stuff like that? I mean, that's exactly what we did on this one. When I get slipped like that, I know there's no bids. So I just let it float up a little bit, get me short, and it got me short like 3x or whatever it was. Three fills there probably. Well, not 3x my default, but just three fills. And then boom, to the downside it went, and then we went long right there. And this is where we got out at VWAP, just took about $2 as it rips up to that 168, which now it's looking like it wants to hold and get back higher to 167. Obi, man, if I could just turn back that clock. I go to Obi, yeah, Obi, 165 is looking real nice right there. And then we're like, yeah, but we want to wait for this. 167, 160, not that low. 165, yeah. 164.80 or something in here, looking a little bit better underneath that view up. And we didn't do that, but Adair's over at the screen.
So be aware here, some news coming through in Google as reported by The Information. Apparently, Google here hiring Character AI co-founders and also licensing the company's models. So Character AI is a personalized AI chatbot company. Also, Google apparently set to pay the licensing fee for those Character AI models, again, as reported by The Information. So Google apparently hiring Character AI co-founders in licensing its models, GOOGL. This report here coming through, guys.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
what that means exactly for Google, but we'll wait to see.
It doesn't sound bad. It doesn't sound bad. Nike's apparently running, but
it's not sound bad.
Amazon just broke that 67 level. It's at the 20s right now. You can see, there it goes, there it goes. Don't chase with two bids. You put one, it misses. You throw another, leave one, cancel the other. Unless you want to catch both fills on the way back in, that's fair enough. So while we'll maybe wait for that to come back, there goes Tesla. You can reverse from short to long with one order here at real trading. You can't go from long to short usually with a single stop order, but there's a kind of a way around it. But I did not get that reversal. I just had my stop there at that 207.5. So Amazon's breaking out. Tesla's making the break of this trend line as well. Let's see how far they can go. I mean, the NASDAQ's not doing that much, but there's a few things that are starting to really break out back into the upside. BGZ, shout out to you. Thank you for the super chat there. Micron to the downside. Oh, you know what? I'll quickly do this because it's not a stock that we usually look at very often. And I know we're looking at a lot of charts that look like crap today, but this is $90 on Micron. Go all the way back to here, like March of this year, and then go right back to the beginning of the year. You had a resistance at 90, then it broke away when it bounced off the $90 level. So guess what level we're about to see next week, or if things get bad enough today, the $90 level on Micron. Now, I'm kind of thinking bounce off 90 initially, but maybe next week that'll be a thing. You got to look for these key levels. This stock is weaker than, well, I mean, whatever. So many things are down 10%, but right now it's at the lows. You see NVIDIA, it's at least trying to get higher. I'm sure AMD is still weak, but not nearly as bad as what I'm seeing over there in Micron. So the $90 level, that comes into play. I'm actually thinking that can be a bounce spot, but $1.50 away. You got stocks that are at levels right now. So Tesla breaking trend, we reversed in this, and it was a mistake not reversing a similar trend line in Snapchat. So this is what Snapchat did when it broke a similar trend line. That's me getting out and not reversing long. Obviously, I can hope that Tesla does something very similar and gets halfway to VWAP as well. Let's go to Adara.
Be aware here, we have comments from Fed's Barkin coming through as we get a bit of a push up here in some of these indices. Fed's Barkin speaking here about the non-farm payrolls we had this morning, saying, quote, 14,000 jobs are not as good, but it's a, quote, reasonable number. So some positivity about those non-farm payroll numbers, slight move up in the market as we get that comments coming through. I'll let you guys know if Fed's Barkin is saying anything else here.
All right. Yeah, we'll see what Barkin.
Guess they're quiet periods over. They can yap as much as they want now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because they just had that meeting, so we'll wait to see September. Brendan brought us that little tidbit today that's looking like half a point.
I wonder if that's
more likely than not right now. So yeah, we can definitely have a look at that real quick. Okay, so I want to give this one a little bit of room. I honestly, I don't want to get into a full position now. We are into some NVIDIA right now, and I don't want this name to get too far away from us. We went long Apple there, and now Apple is back. Not really. So Apple's just got back to where we got out. So it did make a move. It did make a run up there, and that was getting me mad when that happened. But then it just faded right back down. And, I just think that this name right here, I still like the long. I mean, you're never going to call, and this is the other thing, when it's earnings season, man, you're not going to call the penny on anything. You're not even going to call the 50 cents probably. We just got out there when we broke through 22.50, which was pretty good because if I don't use 22.50, then I might even use 22. And then if I use 22, then I probably would have used even something a little bit lower than that. So that's where you start to get into, questionable decision-making processes, right? And
although
you definitely want to give yourselves a little bit more room during your earnings season. So we'll do that here. And the reason why I bring that up is for NVIDIA.
I'm calling to the penny.
Although I know NVIDIA is not reporting, and it's just one of those names, down 3%. If this market does fall down here, I'm certain that NVIDIA will go with it. But we got to try to give it just a little bit more room as now it's starting to come back up. So not a big deal by any stretch of the imagination yet, but it's starting to get into that zone now where I'm going to add a little bit more up here in the 90s for NVIDIA because we're getting more comfortable as we get a little bit higher up that these prices may or may not hold. So let's try to put something on right now.
Well, the only place where I think you can get it to the penny is when you're guessing the AMC earnings tonight when you go to Stonks.com.
That would be a good point.
So obviously I'm being facetious about this, but I anticipate the 420 call is going to be dead to the penny at 420 call at 430 when it's eligible. I'm even putting a line on the chart just for morbid. It's like
that's some confidence right there.
It'll go where it goes, and it's absolutely hilarious that stocks that I like. With Meta, I think it was only betting to the upside, and Apple, I was only betting to the upside. So what are we betting on today for AMC? Sorry, apes, down. So Tesla did a reversal. This is nothing like Snapchat. It's always bigger in the one that you don't take than the one that you do. So Tesla struggles immediately to go more than the initial 50 cents into 208 even. You're seeing it pull back. I want to see if I can grab it somewhere in the quarters in front of 207, see if it can hold that 207 level. But juxtapose this with like Snapchat. And in complete hindsight, Snapchat's down 25%. So I suppose when it caught a bottom and shorts jumped out, it was bound to be a little bit more violent. I guess that's all it comes down to. And that's always something that I can learn from. Like the break of a trend in a stock that is down 25% might be a better opportunity than one Tesla, which, while down 4%, that's not its worst day recently. It's certainly done more than that. But see, all you can do is live and learn. It's pretty much the exact same setup. One just exploded to the upside, relatively speaking, and the other one gently gliding to the upside at best. And Amazon still going. That is a super strong name.
Yeah,
I wonder if Amazon has a shot at 170 today. Clearly dipping back into 186 is not going to be a thing. And if it is, I don't necessarily just want to be sitting on the bid. Keep in mind, Amazon is dealing with the 200-period moving average on the other side. So I think when you're looking at this top that it's trying to break out, this is the 200-period simple on the daily at about just underneath 169. That is a major, major breakout. And I feel like if Amazon takes it and takes out 169, I want to be long. Real question is, can it do it? It's so close to the top here. Amazon, what a day for Amazon. Should have dip bought this. I did not.
Yeah.
I did not.
Yeah. I did.
I bought some NVIDIA.
Okay, that's good.
But it's like
both
no,
of
but
those names.
Yeah, but I also bought AVGO. I keep saying AVGO, ASML.
Yeah.
I think the universe is telling me to buy Broadcom for some reason because every time I think of ASML, I say AVGO. I've done it like 3 times today.
So we just had, buying some of these chip names, very dangerous. It seems like in the long-term portfolio, it might even be less dangerous than going long during the middle of the day right now because I'm short and it just bounced back and forth. So we're short here at 60s right now. It just went to 50. We could have taken, I went to 57, 58. We could have taken about flat on this trade where it just bounced right off of here, 65s. There's that last short that we had that went to 54, but we've added to it, giving us a better price. So we've never been in the money on this trade at all. But I still have to try to respect these tops, man. If we break through 50s, we have to get out. So, again, a little frustrating here because we did have that Apple talk, and I said we got to give it a little bit more room than we need to. And I mean, look at this. We get stopped out of Apple $1 ago. Now it's $1 in the money. Will that same fate happen right here to me on NVIDIA. I'm laughing, but it's not really that funny because we called Apple right, not enough patience, now $1. So we wind up losing 40 cents here or 35 cents, whatever it was. And now it's $1 in the money on that trade. And then now we're kind of not in the same fate or anything right now with AMD, but it just went up into that level there at 106. And we're starting to get shorter now for right around where we are. We pretty much have our maximum position right now, short 105.70s. Let's put out a little bit of a bid down here just in case it does fly in a little bit and we could take some profits, or not some profits, but take out a little bit on this because it's getting real strong, man. And VWAP is right here on the futures. Are we going to take that right now? We had the Apple long. Stay with the relative strong names, man. And whatever, that just broke. I was happy where we got out when we did, but now getting a little frustrated, obviously, as you can see, because the market. Okay, well, that's good, man. I know you have the long, so the long is really pumping now.
It's Amazon.
Like
it's Amazon, though. Like at the moment that we got
Amazon,
Tesla, you could have had Amazon $2 ago. It's just, I don't know, man. I picked Snapchat over Tesla. Tesla's working, but Snapchat was better. I picked Tesla over Amazon as well, so it goes the dollar, but you're still at this resistance at 209. So let's see what happens. The other thing I want to quickly point out to everybody is this is the NASDAQ, and you're getting into the top of the range. So if you fail the top of the range, I want to short a weak stock. Like when the NASDAQ gets to resistance, I want to short a weak stock. And if we get only 09s here, then I want to take the 09s. Tesla's down 4%. In a general sense, I feel bearish when I look at this chart. So I know it might run more, it might run to VWAP, but I'm looking at and targeting that 09 for sure. And there was a lot of people that were like, well, it's mostly Riven Millionaire. You don't own Broadcom? I own a lot of the Qs. So by proxy, I mean, Broadcom's what, like the fifth? I don't know, I could be fourth, fifth, or sixth largest in the Qs. So technically, I do own Broadcom. But individual stocks are different than owning the indices, obviously, as you guys know. But I do consider that. Like when I want to buy something, I consider whether or not I'm holding a bunch of the index or just bought it.
Oh, man. I mean, I hope some of you guys are still in this Apple trade. Like, honestly, that is ripping right now. Huge ripping on Apple, up to 224 and change is still going. The market's absolutely flying right now. Okay, here's a little bit of a pullback here for NVIDIA. I'm going to take a little bit off in the teens. I just got some 12s there as it's pulling back. I got out of 10% right there. That's it. I'll take a 30-cent hit on that little piece. Probably, maybe we shouldn't have. Maybe we should just hold on for the dream, but it just came back into that 200 period moving average there. So we did get a little bit out there. Damn, come on, man. I don't want to get anything out. So my hands are off. We're at 106 flat. If it just screams down into there, we should be able to take that fill and then get that a little bit out there. But see how it just keeps getting bought back up. Right now, I don't think any company is going to be able to afford to buy out NVIDIA anytime soon unless what's his name raises that $100 trillion, whatever.
I was about to say Sam Altman thinks there's that much money in the world.
Is that what he's trying to do?
He misspoke on that.
Yeah, I feel like that is true. Here we come in right now for NVIDIA. So, all right, we are taking a little bit off here, breathing a little more of a sigh of relief as we did short that. We just don't have the right price. You know, again, we were short 78s or 79s there when realistically we should have just waited for that top. Which we did, and we averaged in. But by the time you average in, you get into these situations now where you're having to take like almost no profit on these trades, and then just being almost like taking a loss and then hoping that something works out for you, right? And that's not, you know, these words hope and whatnot are not good. So, all right, let's now get to the downside here as we get a little bit of profit on this name and see if it can print 80s. That would be nice, but for right now, we've absorbed a little bit here. We're still under the weather on NVIDIA, that is for sure. But if the market does pull back a little bit, I think this should be the one, right? I mean, I don't know. Nice run there on NVIDIA. Let's just try it. I'm going to try to stick with what we have and hold this short 106.50 break, and I guess we'll have to get out.
Yeah, the NASDAQ did make that turn at the top there. So that was a plan of action, right? Like if it got up here and we failed in this range, 185.9 up into 186.20, then I wanted to try to short a weak stock. I'll Snapchat, although it's still going up. We'd get out of Tesla. So Tesla wicked this top in here, got out of it at 74. So end up with like $1.25 on that Tesla move. The other thing is if it comes back into the trend and bounces again, we might just take the same trade. But what was that VWAP that I decided, hey, something is a generally weak stock that's at a resistance spot, let me take it. I mean, Snap doesn't really care what the Qs are doing, but it was at VWAP, and it's a stock that I was trading, so I just got in here at 65. I feel like this could take 70. This is in a different bucket, obviously. Different bucket. It's not necessarily a big cap tech name, the like, so I want to look at maybe something else in here and see what we can find. So Tesla, we're out. We took the profit and ran. It got right to our target, and we're into Snapchat. If we can get down into the 50s, maybe retrace it into the low. But we'll see what happens here with Snap. It's been a bad day in general, but it did break that trend off the bottom.
Yeah, that was a name that we haven't, like, I haven't been in Snapchat or Intel yet.
I'm mad about...
Those are good ones right back.
I'm mad not shorting Moderna today.
Or Moderna. Oh, well, that broke 100, didn't it? Or what was the...
Because, and I've said this before, it's an absolute... If a stock was your best idea, or at least you intended your best idea, and it works, then you should look for continuation, especially after earnings. It never even look at the hard bottom here at 93.5. It tried. It couldn't even get close to breaking the top. Look at what this was doing at the open. Break VWAP, sellers, 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 sellers. Hold VWAP, drop $5. Oh, wow. Moderna is getting destroyed, everybody.
$86?
$86. We're going to go to Adair in a quick little second. I just want to point out, this is what, now next week when it breaks 84, where is it going to go? 75? Exactly. So let's go over to the desk with Adara.
More comments? More comments coming through here from Feds Barkin saying that the big rate cuts are more typical if we have rapid weakening here in the economy. So just be aware here, a bit of a red candle for the SPY and the Q coming in as we have Feds Barkin saying the big rate cuts are more typical if there's rapid weakening in the economy, guys.
All right, well, rate cut Ds because hopefully this comes right back into the downside right now. We are now short. We're trying to get this NVIDIA to the downside. Yeah, D's cuts. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see if it gets to the downside right now. 105.60. I mean, I want to break this, man. Let's get if we get a little lower on this trade. I'm not bidding anything till 40s. So hopefully 40s will come through for us. So that's kind of what we're doing right now on NVIDIA. Although now that I see this, I mean, let's not be like we're the NVIDIA whisperer. That wouldn't be true. It was Intel, which we don't have today, which we should have. All right, so here it comes. We'll put a bid there at 65 and then see if it gets back in to the downside right now and see if we can get that fill. I don't know. The market did just push down. We've already sort of taken out some winners. Remember what our average price was, like 79-ish there? So we got some 70. I think, did we get some 71s there? Oh, no, our best fill is 76. So basically not much going on this average all the way up. We should have been a lot more patient and waited for that fill. We did put it on, so that gives us that. There we go. Did we get that? No, we did not. Well, we're at 65. Come on, man. Where's that 65 at? Hopefully that comes through. See, it just went to 63 or something like that, and I don't think we got filled. So we'll have to wait. I mean, that's not supposed to happen. So we'll just wait to see one more flush. Sometimes there's like this just whooshing action there. And like sometimes I'll get filled, I feel like 5 cents below the bid even sometimes because it's just like an absolute, there it is. So there we go. Now we get the 66s. So there's the flow down now 40, 50 cents. So let's see if we can start to finally put together a little bit of a win here on NVIDIA. So now my bid is at 40s. So hopefully we get this flush now. We're trying to take out the 50 period. So that's generally a good sign for me. Should have just waited, man. Should have just waited. We got a little gun shy there because we were, I mean, we're not turned up or anything, but that Apple trade there, we should have, that was just tough because we got stopped out. Again, it wasn't that big of a hit, right? That's O's, that's 70s, that's out 50s. So 70s to 50s is 20s, and that was a smaller take right there. So at the end of the day, it's probably a 35, 40 cent hit, but then just to see that happen. All right, so we are now, just took some out there. You saw that at the 50 period moving average. I'm almost tempted to put something else right there right now. Let me do that just because that's the way I'm doing it. I don't know if that's right or not, but the market's trying to get backside here.
Yes, sir. It is trying to get backside. I like it. I'd like it to go down and maybe drag something bad with it. But shout out to D-Loaf.
Okay.
Thank you for the super chat here. Shop the all-time high and October 22 bottom anchors, both here, 54-ish.
Yeah.
So here being where it is right now, and what's happening would mean it's breaking that. So you're talking about this low. And it's, yeah, I mean, I don't have the anchor. If you draw it, you're going to have a potential break. There's so many stocks that are doing this and possibly breaking down. I think if this earnings season, if you only picked out the most egregious flat bottom break every single day on earnings, I don't think you could have gone wrong. So, I mean, Shopify, it's not all bad. It's only down 7% today. They haven't reported yet. They're not till next week. The 7th is, what is that, Tuesday or Wednesday? It doesn't really matter. But they are reporting next week, and it's already breaking down. That's not a good sign last I checked. So not great for Shopify. I own shares of Shopify. I'll have to look to see what I want to do with them. Going back over to Tesla, it did pull back, and now it's trying to make a higher low. So the chances of getting back into anywhere near the bottom end of that range to retest the trend feels a little bit unlikely, unfortunately. So we might not get a reload on that. Just looking for something else that I might want to fade. I just typed Apple when I actually, no word of lie, I meant to type AMD, and I just typed Apple. That's weird. AMD VWAP, that would normally be a thing, but it's putting in lower highs underneath that. So I think the way I might choose to play AMD is it's putting in lower highs, wait for it to make the next lower high. Short the pops. As long as the futures aren't breaking out and it's not breaking VWAP, I want to short the pops and maybe an AMD, looking a little bit weaker here. Daniel asking me at what price I want to buy ARM. I'm assuming you mean in my long term because I'm not trying to buy ARM today as a day trade. Here, while staying on AMD, I'm going to quickly show you. Whoops. Oh no. I went to draw. I let it go and it's not doing anything. Okay, there we go. Trade ID just hicking up a little bit. That's my computer, not trade ideas, because my computer's slow. You have the 200 period moving average, which is at 106. And then you've got the $80, it's like $87 level. So once it bounces into there, I'm just going to look to pick up. It'll be about like 20% of what I intend on holding like long term. So that's what I'm looking for. Probably it's at the 200 period. So sometime next week, I probably buy some ARM. I still think it's overvalued, but I want to be getting it on the way down and then hold it forever kind of thing is the idea.
Yeah, it was 168.50 again.
I mean, it's pulled back a lot. And it's still got a ridiculous price earnings, by the way.
Oh, man.
Even with the pullback.
Oh, man, there's just, I mean, just as Neil's looking at that, we're looking at NVIDIA, and so it's just kind of the same talk there back and forth about all this stuff. We just play that pullback in right now, trying to get a little more if we get back up to this price, but remember where our stop is. So I want to get this 106.35 again if we're able to. We did clean this up all the way to the downside. We just took a little bit more out right there, but it's still not a good trade. I mean, this has to come back in. Remember, our average price is like in the 80s now. Like, it's not now, but we do how you have to take the average price of all of this. All right, just really quickly, my wife was just updating me on some hockey stuff. All right, let's try to find something else out here. So I don't have any more bids on this until we get 40s down here. So I want to try to get this 45 area. So this is kind of where I'm aiming for, right into here, these tops that were made, and then a big candle that broke through. And that at that time was the 50 period that sort of retested. I feel like I'm really throwing darts though now when I'm looking at this. So essentially, I'm trying to play off of this. Futures topped out there a couple times. We definitely missed that trade. So now I'm just wondering, we tried to take VWAP. Whenever you go from basically a boarded out level like this down here at 18,460, make that move up 150 handles or so, take VWAP, then cannot break it, come back through. Like now I'm thinking there could be a retest in this area, if not 18,500. That's the 50 period moving average. So I would think that we could at least retest that. If I'm looking at stock, that's what I think, and I've been looking at the futures a lot. So I would think that this is a level right here. That could mean something, 18,500, stop and go area right there. Played off of it a little bit, although we broke for 50 handles there. A little bit of an area, so now it looks like it wants to get back up to the upside. So I'm going to try to play kind of like that we don't break this area up here. So if you're really super conservative into a Friday afternoon, with a little bit light, I'll have to check the volume. I mean, the volume on the futures seems to be fine right now, but probably a little light volume. You got to watch out for this area if you are playing off of a bigger time frame. So I would say that's 18,620 right there on the NQs. So that's a little level there. But here we go, man. I mean, it's working out. The more I talk about it, hopefully the more this works. So right now, here comes NVIDIA, hopefully pulling back in a little bit. This is the plan of action. We'll wait to see if we get that 105.40 area. Hopefully it comes in. That'll be a big one for us, and we will definitely at that point be happier than we are right now. I feel like Intel's almost got that bottom at 21 now.
Oh my! I haven't looked at Intel. I mean, should have been looking at AMD up there when we were on Tesla and Snapchat, because AMD gave you 134. But Intel I haven't had up because, like I said, Tesla and Snapchat, and then I had an Amazon chart up because that's the other one that we were looking at. Let me quickly go over to but Intel's on the bid. Yeah, that's on the bid, on the way up. Like there's been some scalp opportunities in there, but then the last time I had it, it stopped out at the same level. And when it broke this 2120, this is what Obi's talking about. It's like this 2120 quarter area. Like now it's on the bid. Like this needs to go. Like where it was resistance, it's support, and that needs to go. And you got to be. And Obi made a really good point. You got to be willing to take Sometimes a trade doesn't work at the exact moment, but it's still the right trade. So this is an example here. Like early on Intel, I shorted into VWAP, and then it broke out VWAP. I was like, oh crap. And then it immediately failed. It was like it stopped everybody out here, and it's like, oh, that's still good. Get right back in. So the second time it went up to that level, guess what I didn't do? I didn't short it on that big candle to the upside. I waited till it stopped and went the other way to the downside. And again, that's just learning from this lesson over here. And you got to be able to do that. Like it ran stops and then it was good. So here you wait for it to actually break and run stops, and then it'll be good. I feel like that's the plan of action. Like I'd almost like to see, I guess it didn't really run the top there, but if I can see Intel run a top again and turn around, that's the trade that's been working for the short on Intel. Allow it to get to a point where it's stopping people out and then jump into the trade to the short side and then take the momentum. So I don't really see a trade unless this breaks VWAP or gives me that exact setup. Rather go on over to AMD, short the next available pop. Gonna sneeze.
Oh, good. Don't sneeze. Well, sneeze, yes.
Fighting it.
You need to, of course. Right there, NVIDIA, come on, man. NVIDIA bounces off 50s. We're waiting for 40s. We talked about that level 44. It just came right in and just completely bounced right there. Look at that. 50, basically 50 to the bottom there, 55s. So we're now bidding, actually I put a 53 in there. Let me put this to 60 right now. I'm going to take it 60, Phil, just because it's already showed itself. It wanted to bounce there. I feel like we have to reward ourselves for the patience in holding this, and especially the fact that no futures, please don't do it. That's really going to upset me. Like, because now, well, it's not really. It's just talking about bouncing off of this 50-period moving average. I thought that was an area there. Darn it. Sometimes you got to just look at so many different things, even when you're just trading one name. All right, so Amazon, the level that me and Obi keep looking at right there was 168.50. That's sort of what Obi was mentioning here, that you came back in and hit this exact level again. So just like that level on NVIDIA down there below at 101.50, it's the same thing here on Amazon. Just flip the chart upside down, Fabian, if you could do that right here, and we'll show it right there, 168.50. So there's the top on a monster run. There's the top on a monster run. Like, it just gave it to you twice. This time, I don't blame anybody for not having this. I mean, I think in here, you could almost play the 168 break down using this as the top, you know, but then again, you're predicting like exactly what's happening with the market, which is tough. And then right there, though, you didn't have to predict anything. It just came right into that level again and gave you that trade. So I feel like there was some pretty easy little situations there on Amazon today. And for Ian Rispetto and everybody out there, I think that's obviously a good breaking level. I could almost think about going long there if this market really gets excited. Come on, NVIDIA. NVIDIA just went all the way back to flat, basically, for me. So stupid, off of missing that bid by 10 cents lower. So now it's forcing me to change it again and put something in the 70s. We might get blown out of this position right now, actually. So here comes, market is retesting VWAP. Kind of as expected. Not as expected, but we said if it comes back up to here, this is what we're kind of playing for. So we have to wait and see if NVIDIA gets to these levels. So, we just missed it. We're at 35s again. All right, so I'll have to punch some 25s in now on NVIDIA and see about that trade. As we're just waiting at 35s, I think it went to 31s there. Unbelievable. All right, well, at least we got a little bit of a reload there. That was just NVIDIA. All right, we almost did not a nice gesture there because we had just missed a 30-cent scalp again.
Like crisscross, you could get the finger.
The middle,
warm it up.
Something like that. It would have been more the Italian version of that one, but here we go. Coming back in. Oh, come on. Okay, there we go. We'll take a little bit of a fill right there. Look, there's 30 cents on the reload, but we missed the bigger piece up there at 106.
What's the Italian?
Just where it's just the same thing, but it's a different gesture.
Well, I don't know.
You do know it. All right. So anyways, as we go.
Oh, I think I do. Yeah. I think I know. Just very quickly.
NVIDIA.
I missed, obviously, remember way back when, 25 minutes ago, when I missed the break out on Amazon? Come to my chart for a second. There we go. Missed this breakout. I was sitting waiting for it. It just pulled right back into the same level that we missed the break. Got a bounce. Bounce failed at 40. So we got 32 cents on it. Shout out to Magic Johnson. And now we're going to lose now we're going to lose 167. So very, very quickly, it came right back into the same level, which the first time through, if I actually get that long, it's $1.50. I went into Tesla. This was a cleaner move, but it is what it is. Tesla still won, but Amazon was better. I get it on the way back, and it gives a third of the move before immediately retracing. So Amazon, which was strong at 167, now wanting to pull back in here a little bit. It's not Amazon I want to go to. It was AMD.
Look at this.
If we lose this on Amazon, you could see VWAP, but AMD first green candle, and it just went 30 cents is all it can do. So AMD doesn't want to go VWAP. It wants to hold 133. If it's going to do that, then give me the 3/4. And first available pop, I said. The pop just wasn't much of anything here on AMD.
This is what trading is. You have to be very patient, and some fills you'll miss by like 1 penny or 5 or who knows. At least we're able to get something there on that. You know where this, like if I zoom in completely, that top was 32s. We're at 35s for a much bigger piece. But we did punch some anyways when it went up there. And this is why you have to have that ability. Yeah, don't zoom in too far, man. I'm going to come back. You might get some projectiles coming out of my mouth there real quickly. But anyways, we'll take a couple more fills down there in the 70s and just get a piece out. We could be right. We just don't have to be like, you don't have to be crazy right. We just have to get out when this is going.
Gotcha.
We'll take another piece out right there at 75 as it comes back in right there. So there's another fill for us. This is what trading is, man. This is what it is. We always write down on the sticky note every single day something about a word, patience. And, right now the market needs to see a doctor ASAP and get that patient checked out because the market's feeling some kind of ways last couple days here. We did buy some, and we're going to go over to Darren in 1 second. We did buy some Amazon today in our swing account, basically, and in the long-term account, and at the same price. We were able to get some down here at that 161 and change. We buy it with the CDR. I have more Canadian cash lying around. So we did a little bit of that coming through there today. Didn't sell any up here. Let's see if Amazon can hold fort just a little bit one more time. All right, Adara, let's go over to her and find out about Benzinga.
This part of the show brought to you by Benzinga Pro. If you feel lost in the noise of the market, then you need Benzinga Pro. Benzinga Pro cuts through the clutter and gives you the insights you need to make smarter, faster trades. From real-time news to unusual options activity, we'll show you exactly what's moving the market and why. Don't miss out on your chance to trade like a pro. Visit benzinga.com/pro to start your free trial today.
So just a couple of things. One, I'm into AMD, but if it's this shallow of a bounce, not a very wide berth. I don't think, because I don't want to give it more than just above 133, and that's a pretty tight stop, I elected to, if I'm going tight stop, to just add to it as a decision. Like you can do two things. You can either you can have a wider stop with less, or you can have a tighter stop with more and then be risking the same thing. So I'm going with the approach of if it's a tighter stop, then I'm going to add where I might not normally do so. So my average price is going to be 83. It's about 30 cents plus slippage for risk. AI in the chat. First off, Andre said BTC's headed to your level. No chance in heck that it's anywhere near 54,000, but I'll look over on Sean's screen and see that it's 63. So Bitcoin is 10,000 away from the level that I'm looking for the next obvious bounce. It doesn't mean it's not gonna bounce till there. I'm just saying that's where I'm looking for it next. AI, Amazon has been a short all day, especially up at 168. I'm even thinking it gets back to 162 by the close. So I just had a very, very quick long in Amazon that's still holding up here 167. So I would disagree that it's been a short all day, because I would argue that this is was clearly a long, and then it was a long off VWAP when it broke out this range. Two clean long opportunities there, and then you could make the argument that when it broke out here, that was a long. Early it was a short, and I was wrong about that. So no questions asked. I'm flat on Amazon only because we have there's a couple of good scalp trades in here that make me flat on the day in Amazon. And then I got out for good when it broke. I'd have been up if we got a better price on this break of 165, but the slippage was ridiculous on Amazon. As anyone that was trading it probably has a good idea. So it was not a good one. But yeah, short at certain levels, but not necessarily all day. Definitely, it's loaded up there at 168.5 that it is going to be a bit of a fall. I haven't looked at Meta, Dwayne Walker, and I see in the chat here that you're pointing out Meta breaking VWAP. I like things that are breaking VWAP maybe with a little more gusto than the volume on Meta. I like to talk about VWAP for strength, but that's not a lot of action over there on Meta. Amazon's moving. That's why we want to try to trade Amazon. And I'm just not seeing the same thing on Meta. There goes AMD. Slap the fail on that one. So that one heading to the upside. Whoops, that's the wrong one. That's the one I meant to hit. Literally right next to each other. Every now and then.
Can't each other mean the opposite?
No, I'm talking about the buttons.
Yeah, but what was it? One was a fail, one was a
I know.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
actually,
you hit one by accident.
Okay, so you know what? Actually, it would make sense if I ordered them like good on one side and bad on the other. They're just all random on here. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of neither here nor there on this one. But NVIDIA, as Neil has AMD there, we still do have NVIDIA, but that's just because it hasn't broke the levels yet. So we're still going to wait for that to come through. We just take another fill there at 106. I don't know. Let's move on. And hey, look, if it comes back in, you know where I'm bidding. We're bidding 105.40. So let's just look for something else there right now. Okay. What does it say? Vesper Martinis on Daniel when you get to London. Okay.
A what?
Daniel, some sort of a martini. We'll have some of those for sure. We'll see if we can find Mr. Bond.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Nice move to the downside. Damn, like I just came back from getting a little bit of a coffee here. And like, I wish I had just been like 1 minute later because we just took some out at 106 and it just went down to 105.70. And I don't want to take that bid, even though right here we are, Adam, I mean, I don't know. I'm only going for 5. Like, I don't even get there till Sunday morning pretty early. And then I'm out of there Thursday. So it's like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I hope that's enough.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
Time. It's not very long. I didn't plan it very well. We did wind up getting our baseball tournament in there, which was, you know, wish it would have been another weekend. But I just didn't want to reschedule the whole thing.
The whole trip.
Yeah, well, I wanted to go. Like I could have canceled it and just gone next year, gone maybe next month or something like that. But we wanted to get it over with. Okay, so yeah, it should be a lot of fun, Adam. Hopefully, what's the weather like? Tell me what the weather's supposed to be like next week there.
Raining.
We arrive, yeah, maybe, that's the thing. Well, I think you just wear layers and you get ready for that. All right, I feel like Intel, this break of 2120, get down, NVIDIA, man. Okay, right now, all right, let's go. All right, so there you go, Intel, there comes the breaker.
I'm waiting for this stock to break this too, like.
No, but I don't think even right now. I mean, I think you could break right here, 2120. That breaks down into 21 flat. So I think that's a good break spot right now. Breaking this 2120, coming into 21-ish. I mean, whether or not you want to take 05s or whatever little wick down here you want to do. And then if you get that break, then that's when that hallelujah moment.
It got to 90 last time it did this. Here.
Yeah, so
it broke 21 and actually got to 2090. So it was like a 30-cent move the last time it did. That's a 1.5% move.
All right. I'm not, I'm trying to be honest with my trading, but I'm not going to be honest with myself. Okay, I canceled my 40s and just took a 50 fill. Because though there's 40s now. Let's go. Spin the damn thing. All right. So now we can legitimately talk about this trade. Not just because it's in the money, whatever that little thing says. Whatever it says, we know what it says. Our initial position was 105.80s. We got nervous, man. We got nervous. We didn't think we were going to be right here. We got so it was 105.80 on this move up. Obviously, we reloaded it. I have no idea what my average price would have been after that reload. But here it comes in, and now it's really starting to spin. So there we go. Now we're getting now we are getting it, Neil, and everybody else out there as we hit. That siren way too loud, but finally it is starting to go to the downside. It's now $1 in the money. This is off that last reload for NVIDIA. Look, we have to take that fill. I mean, it just fell right into VWAP. We put the bid out there. We take that fill. We were already sitting there, actually, on that fill. So let's see now if we can get here. It comes right in again. Let's see if we can get lower. We could take this VWAP, and then what, man? Then what? Who next after that? Then we'll wait to see right here for this level, 104.80. So I'm going to put one at 105 right now. So let's go 105. If the next level is 104.80, let's just sacrifice, take a little bit here. The net is growing, which is what we like to see. You know, you talk a little bit about your vacation, about this and that, and the market rewards you just a little bit. So
it means being patient. Sometimes that's what you got to do. Like, you just got to, you're waiting for a trade to happen. You start spitballing, we'll talk about whatever, because you're waiting station to station. I'm waiting for two things, right? And you wait for that move, get a little more patient, and it drops down $1. Instead, I'm waiting for, okay, there it goes. Here, I'm going to, oh, it's SSR. Yeah, it's SSR. So Intel broke that 20, and now it's back under. So it broke, it hit 19, came right back. Wow, 20 just keeps refreshing. The other thing I was going to point out is DJT announced this morning that they started their first phase of their Truth Plus streaming rollout. So that's the news. I was literally reading it from what Adara just posted to me. I'm not going to pretend that I memorized that. But a triple top into a potential breakout on DJT. I didn't know it was up 8%. A couple people said DJT is moving and looking pretty good. It's got about a lot of days down in a row going into a potential bid. So a little bit of a breakout here. It's a 29.42 or 43. I think I have the order set out. It's one of those two. If it breaks that, maybe you can get to 30. Pretty simple. That's a strong stock. You can call it a bull flag. I just call it a triple top on a bullish pattern. And if it goes, I want to have a part of it. It's 3 o'clock right now. If I'm still staring at this thing and it hasn't moved in half an hour, then maybe I'll cancel the order. But that is a stop limit breakout order on Donald Trump Jr., the stock. Interesting timing, because now we know, I think officially, who he's going to be up against, because I think Kamala Harris got enough. They said she has enough votes to get the nomination.
Yeah,
so I guess we'll see who her VP pick is. I have no idea the timeline of that, but either way, it's DJT that wants to break out the top. Something tells me Kamala will never have a stock of her own. But
yeah, she might not have a KAMH. I don't know what hers would be right there. Okay, so I wanted to look quickly here at
WEED.
So we do, I mean, I don't think it'll be that. Down to the downside there. Let me look at that fill. This is why you have to take those trades, man. And you have to get them out no matter really what you think. Sometimes, you know, they're there for you to take. And that's a fill right there that we're happy to take on the downside. And we did pretty good, man. We got out of a quarter of what we had left down there. So hopefully we can get that opportunity again. I still like the reload up here, but it's getting ever so much more dangerous to start taking these, because at some point, unless we just sit here for the last hour, which we could do, heading into a Friday on a market that's down 2.5%, I still kind of like the long. However, as we talk about that more and more, but I still like the short. I mean, but the long, as we talk about it more and more, seems like there could be something there. So we'll wait for it. Let's be as patient as possible. I mean, I sure am glad that we were able to take that one fill there and be able to get out of it. So for right now, oh yeah, that's what I meant to call up. Yeah, you've been mentioning that. Yeah, so.
Oh, so Obi, I will say what Obi was just saying. Sellers have been chasing on Intel since the 30s, and they just keep. When we say sellers are chasing, it just means you have an offer that's stacking up. And if it's at 29, it goes to 27 when it gets down there. Then after a while, the stock goes down, and they bring that down like 5 cents every now and then. Now they're on the offer at 14s.
It doesn't matter.
I just realized
it's not sellable.
The chart wasn't up while I was saying that. So basically, what that means is you have to sit on the offer unless there's an uptick, then you can hit the bid. So getting a fill. When I got filled at 20 here, that was me punching 20. Like, I was hitting the bid at 20, but I didn't get filled until it was 19 by 20, and then it came back through and I got filled. So that's happening every few cents. It did it here, and then it broke, and then it did it at 15 for a hot minute. Now it's down at the 10s. I still like it to 21, and if it gets to 21, try and hold on to a piece for the dream. That said, one going down, actually two going down, because that DJT break, nice little volume spike because it took out that local high and then did absolutely nothing. Thank you, DJT. So sometimes you can break a triple top and you don't go anywhere. So Intel made the break and is going downside. DJT makes the break and is going sideways, at least for now. But Intel working back in, that stock only wants to flush today. You just wait for your chance, and when the sellers start going, they really start to pick up on Intel. I think that's a bit of a sign. Next week is going to be very interesting for them. If they can't find a bottom at $20, it was like 1870, I think, when I pulled up a weekly chart, would be the spot. The Alamo, I would say.
1870?
Yeah, you had to go really far back.
Was that the last year this thing was at this price?
I don't remember how far I had to go back. It was on a weekly. I just kind of pulled it back as far as I could, found the last bottom underneath 20, and it was about 1870. It could be within 20 cents because everything was so, you go that far back on a weekly chart, it's kind of insane.
Yeah, the reason I asked that question is because we went back at least 10 years. We went back to 2013 to try to find something for Intel. Look, you could have just had 2113s there because it did bump back up, so you could have got that short, no doubt about it. I'm bidding right now at 55s here for NVIDIA. We just withstood that move to the upside. Let's take advantage now as it pulls back in to 56s. I said 55 we're bidding, thank you. So there's the move back in. We just get that fill right there. So again, it's been really good, man. I mean, these shorts have been good. This is the only name that we're working with here this afternoon is NVIDIA. So yeah, we'll be happy with it. Like the trade on the name and just see if we can continue with sort of that good love from NVIDIA back into the downside here today. So that's what we're looking for. I don't have any more bids on VWAP. We want to make sure that we can win pretty decently on this if it does come through. So 105 would be real nice. Nice little wick down there. They're trying to push in. It gets bought up a little bit. What if that buyer does not come in? As we went back up to the upside, I said I still feel in the short, but we are trying to push this VWAP, which makes me nervous heading into the last hour. But maybe we finally got it by the you-know-what now, and we can get back into the downside. I did change my offer to 106.30s. Not that that matters, but that is where I went to. That last tick was 25s. We are still waiting at 35, but now that's $1 away, and it's starting to head downside one more time here in the market.
For what it's worth, Amazon is tanking in VWAP as well. So what was once strong is coming right back into the downside. Tesla is right back into the low of the day at 206. So you're definitely getting a turn in the market here. And like the NASDAQ's already down 2.8%. I think the real question is, do we hold 3% to the downside? So you have like successive red candles, another lower high overall in the market. The ES is making lower highs too. I just prefer to look at the NASDAQ. So if you're looking at the SPY, it's not terribly different. So you are coming back in to said downside. My next bid's at 05 on Intel, and if it breaks that, I think you're probably going to have a bit of a wall at 01. So if it breaks 01, I want this down to 95. It did get down here to 2090 the last time, but DJT. So, you know, a stock can be a breakout setup, but if there's nothing happening on it, like sometimes you want to give it room, but it's literally not moving. So giving it a lot of room when it's not doing anything, I always say it doesn't make sense. So I've really tightened up the stop. Usually I'd want to give this to like 29.10 or 29 even. It's not worth it if 5 minutes after the breakout, it's at the same price. Like it's not dumping and it's not ripping, even though it did that triple top break here on a squeezable name. Like DJT is a name that should, in theory, be able to squeeze, and not a lot happening. So I've tightened up the stop here, only going to give it about 20 pennies. If it's not moving, it's not worth a bigger stop.
If it's not dumping and it's not ripping, maybe it's just dripping. It could be dripping.
Dripping?
Well, what you can be dripping in is a lot of gold, man. You could just be getting all, dripped out if you win on Stonks.com. I mean, anybody can win $1,000 for absolutely for free right here. I have the QR code up right here. Fabian, if you come to my screen, I don't think it's up on the screen right now, but there it is right here. Scan that QR code and get involved with Stonks.com right now. Okay, it'll be on screen in just a couple of seconds. So I will go then over and show you guys what I've been doing here. This is who won yesterday, man. 250, 150, 100. Here it comes right now. This is the play to be, man. Today's game is AMC. So what you're going to do is guess. And I'm not sure exactly where it would state what time they're doing it at, but probably today in and around 4:30. There's the QR code right in front of you. So make sure you do grab that with Stonks.com. Click the QR code there, join it up. Over almost 1,000 predictions right now. Wow, it's really starting to get going now. Get in there, man. Claim your free entry right now. You share the link. That would be fantastic as well. Let them know you're coming from Trader TV Live, and now you're ready to rock with the best of us, and tell stonks.com where you came from. So there it is, man. A couple big winners, and here's some guesses right now. Okay, people are just guessing where we're at right now. 492, 410. Ooh. Someone said there. Ooh, okay, 499, 492. All the 521. All right, I'm feeling that. Someone loving 650. A little inside information there on that one. So there we go. It is stonks.com. Get your ticket today for free by saying that QR code and, get in the game, man. EA Sports, it's in the game right now.
I just like to know, I saw none of those were right around my 420.
Yeah.
The only concern I had with the 420 is that thered be a lot of people guessing 420. And then therefore it wouldn't be that good to be betting it. But you know what? It does look like it's good. So
new position.
Someone asked Robinhood, why is Robinhood down? Who knows? We'll get to that in a quick little second, but Intel is going to the downside. As Sean mentioned, it just tagged back into VWAP and sold again. So the lower high now looks like 215. 2115.
Yeah.
215.
Yeah, we were actually somehow able to get 18s there. So we got a fill at 16 and a fill at 18.
It did print 18.
Yeah, so we got it. So we got that fill right there, and we're taking some out. We took some out at 12s there, and that's it. We have a couple 12, well, more than a couple. We sat on the bid and actually got hit there at 12, and then it refreshed, and now starting to go back up there to the upside. So we'll be careful with all of this here on Intel. We still are short NVIDIA, which isn't doing a whole heck of a lot, to be honest with you, which kind of sucks. But we are going to wait to see what exactly we're expecting here from Intel. And, I was thinking about the 50-period moving average. That would be 27 break. If that is something that winds up happening, we are only 311 right now. Still lots of time left on the day. But for me, without getting too carried away there isn't much here, right? I mean, this is the 20-minute chart. It's all the way down. We can't really use too many levels in order to decide where we're going to get in and out of this level, but maybe that 25 area. We only took out 17%, 18%, something like that, down there right now. And we sat there, we got some rebates, and some we didn't get on some either. So we'll wait to see what happens with Intel, but it is a new position, and yeah. So far, so good on that one, but my first position of the day on Intel is right now, which is a little bit late. All right, so NVIDIA fell back in again, and we ignored pretty much VWAP again, and then it comes all the way back up again. I don't want to average into this. I've already made this trade. I'll average in a little bit higher, but this is not a horrible spot. We could try a little bit here at 106.05. I feel like that's reasonable to do, or 106.05. Yeah, 106.05, that's right. If we can get that, then maybe we'll look at that one more time. Intel's coming back up. We could take a fill here at 20. I wanted to give it, that's where VWAP is right now. So if we can get a 20 fill, that'd be pretty good. We'll see about grabbing that. And then up there, 25, 26 break, and we should be able to get out of the way there.
Every green print on the offer is a D print right now.
Very hard to get it unless you're sitting there.
Yeah, so very quickly, tighten up the stop on DJT, and it came out. Good decision, I think. Look, it's just not going. Triple top breakout on a squeeze name. I like the idea in the afternoon and in power hour, but you got to have more than just the idea and it breaking out the top. You need volume. And the only volume spike was when it lost the bid. So we'll keep an eye on it, but Intel just gave not 20s, didn't fill 20s in there. When you said you got the 18s, I went right back over and just, okay, if it's not going to print the 20s, let's fill some 17s. But the sellers are still holding on to it right at the 20 level, at least for now. If they break out that 20, it could get interesting back into that supply zone, 25 to 30. If it gets through there, I think this one's going to be in some trouble. I do want to make sure when you're looking at those chip names, like what is NVIDIA doing? It's still holding resistance, but Intel's SSR. And when they release the offer, sometimes you're going to go up. And I don't want this getting past that 25. We didn't do any better than 10 cents on this trade, so I don't want to give up 10 on the way back in here either. Amazon still have my eyeballs on it. It bounced off 166. There was no VWAP bounce on Amazon. I had that at 65. So yeah, it looks like Amazon's still making higher lows. I was waiting for VWAP. We're not going to get VWAP anytime soon. All right.
We're in the same trade as Neil there, obviously with Intel. We've talked about that a little bit. We're just trying to go to the names that are actually doing some stuff. All right, so we're still in the money on NVIDIA. We said that we would take a little bit of a fill rate here, so we did that. We are still going to wait for that 35 print to come through, and then honestly, if this goes upside, I actually would feel fine about this. We've taken a lot out to that downside. So far, so good there on what we've been doing with NVIDIA. But it might not end well. So that's going to be that one little caveat right there for Intel or for NVIDIA. Intel is starting to go up now, obviously, as we look to take out that 30. So we're going to give it 230 right now for this. We're out a dime on this name. Pretty comfortable with it, but it is starting to go back up. So there goes Intel again to the upside. We haven't started trading until just now, and not good right there as it's getting a little bit of love, only being down 26% today. You know, obviously people wanting to buy this name right back up. But what has worked?
Let's hold that during the weekend.
Yeah, let's wait to see.
Joking.
Yeah, nobody was hopefully.
I'm being facetious.
Okay, we just got punched out there of Intel, so we will have to slap. Just the last little fail on that one. We tried it, broke through 31s out right there on Intel. A little bit took me by surprise how strong that name was there into the close.
I think you know what, I did that same thing I did before, where it's like if you get it as it's trending down, quickly to the chart, as it's trending down, if you catch any of these, like that short, but once it makes a bid that's still on the plane of a higher low, I just reloaded the price that we got before instead of waiting for the other side of the trade, which would be let it show sellers, let it put in a lower high, and then get short. Let it show sellers, let it put in a lower, like short it when it's on the way back down for sure. But I did want to just jump on over here. Rivian Millionaire mentioning Apple is at VWAP. Apple holding VWAP could easily push up the market. I don't disagree with you. I just think Amazon, I know Apple's up 2%. I keep coming back to why when I typed in AZM and then went down a few times, did that even come up? Amazon, despite being down 9%, just feels like it's even stronger. Higher low off of VWAP. Look at the buyers at 166 on Amazon while we're waiting for 165 in VWAP. Like that looks like a pretty darn good bid to me. Don't anchor to price, anchor to wherever the heck the buyers are if you want to buy the stock. And if they're showing 166 and you're waiting for 165, then all you get is a missed trade. Well, I should say all I get is a missed trade. But maybe we'll get a second crack at this one. Amazon just looks a little bit stronger to me going into the last 30, 40 minutes here.
So we just get a great fill down there on NVIDIA again. Took the 50 period again, it was 83s. So we actually bid 83s, we get that price. Now it starts to trade up a little bit again. So there's just another 50 period print. You know, I know it's really pathetic, like just sitting here talking about the same names. I completely understand that. But it's what I'm involved with. So that's unfortunately what we're going to have to deal with right now. I did get back into Intel there. Whenever we fail off levels like that, you guys know that I like to get back in. So here it goes, man. Let's just get this back in like we just did. We'll take some more out here hopefully at 26s. There we go. We get the 26s. Now we get the 25s. Okay, boom. So nice little profit spot there for us on Amazon, Intel, as it just came back in. It obviously got flushed out there to the upside. What can we do? Sometimes there's that pressure there we go, take some 24s. I'm still bidding. You know what? Why not? Let's cancel our 20s. Actually, you know what? I'll just go a little less on 20 right now. So there it is. We got it back in. We'll build those purple flowers again on Intel. Boo, getting stopped out. But yay for getting back in. NVIDIA downside. All right, what else you guys want to look at right now? TQs, Qs, Amazon at this price is a steal. Let's go, NVIDIA. This would be nice. This would be real nice if we can get that fill again. Yeah, it is. This is a nice little respect level for NVIDIA because it has made its push down, but I'm not respecting the levels too much here because we didn't get out again there. I'm just would have been now at 70. Come on, man. Like you can't just continue that move down. Let's see if it does now, but it's not. Definitely not looking like it wants to. But here we go for NVIDIA. Give me those 70s. So I'm literally bidding sector watch. Bidding these 70s. If we can get those back in, then we will try to do that. A big Fabian's, yeah, man, don't even worry about it. I like the sector watch. I could do sector watch right now. You want to do that? But at the end of the day, Fabian's over there by himself today. So, no breaks for that kid. Nothing at all. So shout out to Fabian. I mean, don't call the labor board. The guy's had some breaks, you know what I mean? But anyways, here we go to the downside. We just take a 25 there on Intel. Maybe we can get a bigger push. NVIDIA, man, you ain't no friend of mine, honestly. I mean, we've been dip buying in our own personal accounts, but we keep on missing these eventual dip buys. I'm going to put another one here at 80 and just forget about it. Get that fill, and then we'll be a little less than we need to be at. And, hold on for hopefully dear life as it maybe goes back in to the downside. So that's a trade right there. Palantir, good one. Okay, there we go. Finally, man, that's more of a respect thing right there. We should be getting some love for that because we changed our bid. We just put it into the 80s there because we're frustrated, and then it comes right back in. You guys want to talk about Palantir? Let's do that. Ooh, okay. Again, back to the 200 period. We really like that as a potential short idea. Anytime you get that kind of a move, Palantir is down 6%. The market is clearly red today and under VWAP. I could stamp this as a possible trade for sure right now in Palantir. I do like that move. And if you are in this name, I don't know which way you would be today. I mean, they had a pretty big move down into 2380. And if you're going to look right here, I feel like the buy zones for Palantir are probably around that, 23, 2350, 23 flats. You know, down into here, good buy zones for Palantir. I didn't sell anything. I didn't do anything with really any of my Palantir. So we'll wait on that now and potentially get out if it can rip up again. But I don't know if that's what's going to happen anytime soon. NVIDIA, Intel still doing its dance. Good thing we did take that 25. We did feel like a little bit, maybe we shouldn't take a 25. But now I feel like I'm going to take a 28. So we'll sit on the bid there and hopefully get it filled down at 28 now. Just 5 cents. We already got lumped up there a little bit on Palantir as we come back there. So nice little move to the downside. We'll see if we can get more fills if it does fall out. But yeah, for right now, just
Olympics over
chilling over there. Like good.
The men's 10,000, I think, apparently is going on right now. Although the decathlon starts tomorrow. I cannot wait for the decathlon. Damian Warner. Jeremy Warner was a U.S. runner. Damian Warner of Canada has a good chance of winning the decathlon. And then we have Pierre Lepage.
Defending champ. Who's the defending champ guy?
He's amazing. And then Pierre Lepage is our other guy.
Favorite.
Pierre Lepage is like 6'7" decathlete. Like he looks like he should be playing basketball out there, and he's an impressive athlete. Although he'd probably make a lot of money. He'd probably make a heck of a lot more money as a basketball player. Like the guy is a freakish athlete. But anyways, good for him. Go Canada. And
exactly.
So this is at least this way it's on the other side of Intel. It did the wick, and there's the top. If it takes that top, I'm going to get out. But the last time I showed it on the way up without any confluence or whatever you want to call it. This time it does have a rejection candle. That on the offer got 29. That top is 35. Still no shot at Amazon because Amazon is not pulling back yet. If it does, this is the stock that I'm looking for the dip buy-in. 66 lines up very, very obvious. Like, look at the wall at 66. That's an obvious one. If we get it, we get it. I'm not sure that we do. And then the other thing that I'm still thinking about Tesla and the bottom of this trend line, but the further it gets away, like, why am I thinking the bottom of this trend line on Tesla? Like, this is holding 206, triple bottom, and Intel's just only going up.
Yep.
Yeah. So 206 on Tesla, that looks like it could be breaking any second, but that's been level to bounce, not where my trend line is. Should have just maybe stuck with that. When I got out of the long of Tesla, I was not thinking reverse into a short, but I should have been. And there goes Intel. It just made one check up, was able to get short on the way back down, but then it just took out the top. Looks like this one's just a little bit too strong. It was working on the way down. Now I just don't want to be fighting it anymore. Got to find something else. Dip buy on Amazon, still very much in play. I'm looking over at that Tesla. It's trying to break down here at 06. Just can't do it yet. I feel like Tesla wants to lose this bottom here, but there's a wall at 206 here that it can't seem to break. Gatorman saying Nike is too strong today. You know what, I did say when the track and field starts, it could be a bounty for Nike. That's usually the biggest profile event for, I guess, people wearing Nike kits would be for track and field. And yeah, they're flat today. But flat is good today when you're trending up because they were gap down and trending to the top side here for Nike. Don't need this trend line from like a week ago. But yeah, good look for Nike. My other play was, and we and I were talking about this, if the track and field started and it took out the low, I was going to go short. Because I'm like, oh, if everyone thinks it's going to bounce in the middle of the Olympics, if it loses the bottom in the middle of the Olympics, then that's exactly what people weren't expecting, and it would have been the most obvious one of these to me. Obviously, it's not doing it. But 71 breakthrough in the Olympics, I'm going to have that short.
All right. Yeah, so we have, good luck to that Canadian dude there. Odds-on favorite to win. So that would be really nice if that could happen. Ken has done quite well. Summer McIntosh is definitely showing
She's
up
a monster.
For
in
us.
a good way.
Yeah, very, very, very good way. Right there. Shout out to Summer representing Etobicoke. All right, so here we go. Just because Intel is Intel, we'll let it settle down and see if it wants to get back to the downside right there for INTC. But this happened again to us. We were, again, another 70 cents in the money on Intel, and we didn't take it. So, on NVIDIA. So that's now probably going to take out some of those highs one more time there on NVIDIA. So that kind of sucks for us, again, as it does not want to continue its lower push there. So that's really too bad. Okay. Stink bid for Hood. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Stink bid for Robinhood. I don't. You know what? Like, it was a question of the chat. Like, why do I? It was like, oh, why are you stink bidding this or bidding this stock? Like, as I mentioned, ARM and have multiple chip names. So there's, to me, in a sector, I don't mind owning 2 or 3 names in a sector as opposed to an ETF. But there's always like 2 or 3 that I'm buying, and the ones that I might still have some, but I'm not buying it. Like, I have NVIDIA shares, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying any more Intel shares. I've owned AMAP before, but I don't buy that stock. Like NVIDIA, ARM, and ASML are the ones that I kind of want to be buying. So that's the reason. Robinhood's just not on my radar as a stock that I want to own. If it was, are we all not staring at the same $16 level here? Like, if I was like, I really want to own Robinhood, where is the spot that I think you could catch a bid? Where it caught a bid in March, where it caught a bid for an entire month of April, and where the 200-period moving average is basically all the same price. And it's getting destroyed today. I don't remember why Robinhood specifically. I mean, I know they didn't report. So the market's not having a lot of things aren't having a great day, so you don't need an explanation why you're down on a day like today. But I don't know specifically why Robinhood's down 12%, but $16, that's standing out there like a sore thumb. If you're looking at this chart, I don't have another answer to give you. That's exactly what it's telling you. And a lot of times you can look at trend lines, but sometimes it's not about that. It's support and resistance. And there was supply at 16 before. That makes a lot of sense to me and not much else.
Yeah, I clearly would not be able to live too much with myself if I didn't take something out here on NVIDIA, as it just went into the 50s again. So I stood there and took some out. So that's what we did there on NVIDIA. Took something out there. We took out a third of what we have left on NVDA, hoping that will come through. Thank you, Adam, for that one. It has been a very, very wild week. We ended off, we started the week with great bangers. I mean, I feel like when you do have, some of the pressure on the market like we have now, it just allows you to extend some of your trades just a little bit. And we had some monster winners, man. We had $12, $13, $20 on Meta, big time trades on NVIDIA as of recently. AMD has been huge for us this month. Last couple of days, this week. Let's talk about it. So it's been good, man. It's been real good. Today's been a little rough. We started out, with some hits, but nothing too crazy. It was more being wrong on Amazon early. We made it all back on Amazon, by the way. Everything that we had lost here on Amazon by going long, we made back on the short and then back there on the long, and we don't even have it the whole way. So I feel like we did really well on that one to make it back. We weren't able to make everything back on NVIDIA, and I feel like we've talked a little bit about that one as well because we just took too many shares. No, we didn't take too many shares. We took the right amount of shares, but we got stopped out early on NVIDIA. Now, since late, we flipped it up and made some money back going short on NVIDIA. But at the end of the day, it was this little area here that gave up. And when we gave up at 103 there, I was not expecting that to make that move down. Obviously, when I see this level now, I feel like, we should have expected that, like duh, but we didn't. So that's another mistake right there for me on that play. So other than that, it's been pretty good. We just battled with with Intel here as Intel continues to go upside a little bit there. We were just back in. We took some profit before getting some more out right there. NVIDIA just fell into 35, Intel again. Couple outs there. Now it's starting to go upside. Probably best to leave that one alone. But this is coming up to, again, a level. What time is it? 3:30?
3:30.
I mean, it's right here, right now. You might as well, if you like this trade, almost take it against 50s and dare it to break. But, I mean, we've been daring it to break for a while, and it's been breaking. So Intel right now trying to get back upside. This might be a week 2 play, right? Like this one being week 1 with devastation. if there is any buyback, potentially something coming in Intel. So
it's hard.
Down 28%. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
something.
The thing about like dead cat bounces is like, is it really belong in that category? I think when Intel had it had the value of the core business was still making money. They had a net loss. You had to adjust to get the 2 cents per share on the EPS. And then you throw in that the dividend is now gone. Like, I just don't see, like, why are you stink bidding that stock when there's so many other things that you can dip by? It used to be like that. It would be that kind of a staple idea. And I think that's why it worked off 25. And I'm not sensing it there. Every time I'm looking for one level, it's the other one on Amazon. Like, okay, I felt the market was pulling back. I felt what the 166 is where they're buying. Now they're buying it up at 167. So 65, 66, 65, 66, now 67, trying to hold. We are at 330, so as that's kind of pulling right back in, I'm going to pull up the early look imbalances for you on a Friday. Every now and then you're going to get something. TD is $2 million to sell. That could be interesting, only if it's also a sell in Toronto. And Ford is $1.3 million to sell. Ford needs to be an egregiously large number for it to matter. Like for Ford, you need, I'd say, 3, 4, 5 million shares for it to be a big deal on Ford. But TD at $2 million, if it's a sell in Toronto, that would actually be a pretty big deal. Not that I want it to go down. I own TD Bank in my personal account. So here's 167, not coming in yet on Amazon. And just because I said it looked like we could get a breakdown on Tesla, this is Tesla not breaking down under 206 and making a fresh low. So another trade that we're looking to have doesn't set up there on Tesla. There's still time for it to take out that bottom. The problem is I'm not punching the low of the day if it's really close to 350. That doesn't seem like a good recipe.
No, and that's part of what we're dealing with right now as we come into the end of the day is that, like, you know, is there enough opportunity here to get the prices, to get the prices that we want? Are we taking on too much risk here into the end of the day? And with that being said, I'm starting to get filled up here. So we just got that NVIDIA trade came in at 30s. So now you can clearly see where we are short now on NVIDIA, 106.35. I mean, that's exactly the price there that we wanted. We talked about that, so we get that fill. And then we get some out down here at 106, basically teens, and now O's. We just got an 08 fill. So we got an 08 fill right there a couple times. I don't know why we keep on bidding 08, but here it comes in. Maybe we get a flip-flop downside right now in this name. So we'll see if NVIDIA now wants to go down. We already have our stop, right? Our stop on this 35 is 50s. So that may or may not come to work here. But we'll wait. If it does get stopped out, it gets stopped out. But again, we're just got out of a bunch of that as we come into the end of the day. And look at these futures, man. Nice upside move happening right now in the market, right back to VWAP again. So kind of like just going back and forth here, not very responsible trading on Intel, but pretty responsible there on NVIDIA as we have our levels and they're starting to print a little bit right now. Yeah, in a couple seconds, I'll be able to do it. Is it up? Oh, yeah, I could do it. Sure. Join. Actually, I don't even have the website up right now. So I'll get that campus website in a minute, unless you have it up, Neil.
Should I have the other one ready?
Okay. I don't have it up yet, but you guys can all join Real Trading right now. I'm going to go to realtrading.com, hit the /campus. You could scan that QR code below. Get over there right now. The website's pretty simple. Oh, there it goes. Okay, thanks. Yeah, all right. I have it up too now if you want to throw over here. So here it is, man. This is your Real Trading Campus website. And I mean, go over there. What it is very, very structured, right? If you're looking for some experience to trade real money and gain that experience in these markets that Neil and I trade every single day live in front of you, join Real Trading with their campus program. It's a very, well thought out, well-planned program for many traders. Again, you'll trade the specific amount of stocks with the right names, with lessons. Apply today. There's a roadmap for this. Exclusive community. We talked about that, simulated and live. It's roughly 8 hours a week, which is the commitment as you scroll through here. For Canadian residents, open now, and it's available immediately. So put your resume in there, get filling it out. Go over to Real Trading Campus. It's where we all started, man. There's 4 phases. Learn the basics, learn the software, learn all about market structure. And even if you're not wanting to become a trader, there's a great time to experience what it's like some of the work that's involved and where we're going with Real Trading Campus. So yeah, head over to that. We're starting to kick it up, man. You'll be with Brankles and everybody else. That should be a heck of a lot of fun. There goes NVIDIA right back up to the upside right now. So good job by us to get some out, but it looks like we'll get stopped out on the last bit. We made money here. Why am I not stopped out there on NVIDIA? Oh, yeah, very, very soon there. Breaking through 61 was our stop there for NVIDIA. Maybe we should get some more out as it just pulled back in for us.
Yeah, and while that was going on, I did get the fill at 67 there. I mean, 67.03 on Amazon. It just popped into the quarters. Okay, it's about to lose. It might lose a bit here. Popped into the quarters, popped into the 40s. Instant reverse. You can see the supply zone that's sitting here at 50. When I say a supply zone, I mean there's sellers at that level. So when it gets into 50, it's reversing. Before, it was hanging out there. Now it's rejecting that level. So quick little scalp trade. I saw in the chat, someone was like, hey, you're really testing your scalp skills to the market. I feel like there's so many of these little tight ranges this afternoon that's exactly it. Like you're getting, for a stock that's down 10% and bottom to top has gone to the world and back, all of a sudden you're just hanging out in a 30-cent range. Like look at Amazon on the day and look at Amazon since we got into Power Hour. It's a tale of two cities over here on AMZN. So I did scalp some out there. We're looking for it to hold this 167, but I think it might give it up. And as we are into Power Hour, this is not a situation to hold if this breaks all the way down to 166. Each area is a new trade. If it breaks down, I wait for it to get down to 166, and I try to take a trade off of the 166 level. So we'll have an opportunity for that to work in Amazon if it can hold this bid. If it doesn't, I'm going to jam out of it. Still watching Tesla for that 06. As I said, we're running out of time for it to do something like break the low and go crazy, which I would love to see happen. But you know what else? If you are interested, check out the QR code you're going to see right in front of you. Why? Because trading on public Wi-Fi is risky. And your data is exposed, like sending private messages in a group chat, which is always a bad idea. Private internet access, PIA, VPN, encrypts your connection, creating a secure tunnel for your data. Trade safely from anywhere, airports, coffee shops, hotels, without fear of hackers. PIA also bypasses geo-restrictions, giving you access to trading platforms and content from over 91 countries and all 50 U.S. states. Protect your trading activities with PIA. Get 83% off, 83% off. That's better than my free throw shooting percentage when I was in high school, and it was pretty good. At just $2.03 per month, plus 4 extra months free. Sign up now with your 30-day money-back guarantee and 24/7 support. Rated excellent on Trustpilot. And you know what? On top of that, we have a poll up right now which says, already have a VPN question mark, 1,365 votes, and 61% saying no. So there you go. Not everyone has a VPN. I actually don't myself. But if you want to trade securely, check out that deal. 83% is pretty darn good. Thank you for the super chat there in Casro OW. Whoops, I just clicked there and now I can't see it. Stop. Where do I click? There we go. Was 1,000 shares short Tesla from 230.88. Closed half just now. Leaving the rest open over the weekend. Let's go, Enron Musk. I know that's not what you said, but that's what I have to say because I know what you meant by that. Tesla is now 206 and change. So just for everyone out there, that was 230.88, I believe. That is 230.88 here. This is where Tesla is now. Oddly enough, at the 200-period moving average, that is... Okay, I'm on this page.
Oh, my God.
Where's the awesome one? You have the awesome one.
Awesome.
There you go. I had the...
Oh my God.
That was pretty cool.
I like that one. That one was hype.
Look, Fabian has been at work in the laboratory with some of these keys that I have no access to, any of the new ones. So, but I have ones that are so old that they literally start hanging when I try to hit them. Like, hook me up, Fabian. Well, I want to give some fresh ones on my board. Let's make sure we can do that. Come on.
25 cents in the money on Intel. Honestly, enough, Intel. I've had enough of you. And we finally shorted it, man. We put on by far the biggest position of the day in Intel, not even close. We make back a little bit here, but there it comes back in. We've been just scalping it out. But wow. That just came in for us there again. So, man, we're putting on some damage here late for sure. Look what's just happening right now. I'd like to be able to hold this, but I'm going to put some out there, get a piece out at 88 and hit the sirens again. Yeah, right now we are starting to come back just a little bit here in the market. And finally, pay dirt hits. NVIDIA, let's see if it can get to that downside. We almost got stopped out there on a break of 60s. Did not happen. Remember I said we're going to get out if it breaks 50s. We give ourselves a little bit more room there. I was even thinking about more than that 10 cents, but once we got filled at 35 there and was able to take some profit out, it became pretty easy of a call for me to do that. So we just wait for that, and now we'll see where we're going on NVIDIA. It looks like it wants to go lower. I have no more bids. I have a bid at 104.70 still from before. So I still have this bid that we actually thought we could get last time. Obviously, we're not getting that at all. Here we go to the downside right now, finally, man. I mean, it took us a while to finally get this trade. We were able to make some money on Intel. We made some money early, then we hit it there, and then finally get this trade. I just wish we would have kept all of it. We only have 20% left of this position, and trust me when I tell you, the amount, I mean, it's probably stupid, but the amount of shares we had was a lot. So here we go. It's only a $21 name, right? So, all right, nice move to the downside right now for Intel. Hopefully that will continue. NVIDIA is now close to that dollar again. If we can get down, let's break that 105.50, right? The dollar is kind of where we need to get this fill, where we've been filled before, 105.50. We're short at 106.35. Let's see if it can get to that dollar club. I do not have any bids until a dollar lower from here, 104.70. Hopefully we can get a bleed now in the market, and we can just hopefully get this Intel even lower. We just got a great fill there at 26s. So good move down there for Intel. And oh, Lord, we should have held it a little bit longer there as it's coming back in. Apple dumping as well. I sold some Apple. We actually talked about this when we came back on the air, right? I was mentioning that the story that I said to Brendan yesterday as Neil was on the recap show and the whole market was falling in. I was like, oh, man. Looks like, you know, selling at that top was a great idea. And I thought to myself immediately, okay, Apple wasn't even out yet, right? I mean, this was before 4:30, and we had seen sort of some of the chaos happen with some of those other reports. And then I thought, okay, if I can get Apple get back to 225, that's definitely a sell zone for me. And that's exactly, like, I just picked it out right here. So that's exactly what wound up happening today. Pretty lucky that Apple did have that rebound. In the pre-market, we were down at 214. We actually wrote down on the sticky note, 216 long. It's just, and we had it. We didn't have the 216. I mean, that would have been the pre-market. But we had these longs, and they were really good, man, down at 220. So those were good trades up there to 224 and such. But you guys know we're well capable of putting on some big winners.
Yeah, you got me on that last sell on Apple. 225 is better than mine. Because I sold mine, it was a while back, actually. And we're right back to that level, 220, 222.
Right. Oh,
right. But that was back, not back in the day. It was like weeks ago.
Back in the day?
No, back in the day is like back in the day. But Tesla, okay, so it's now 342. It was about to go. And I did say if it were on the precipice of 350, I'm not going to take the break. It was so close and it was about to break down. But now that you're really tight, I'm not loving it as much. I just feel like if you take a break at the low of the day, right in front of 350, you run the risk of a disgusting reversal play, which I like reversals on the imbalances. Christian just said I missed the Sava short. Yeah, I mean, there's a 0% chance I was looking at Cassava Sciences today because there was a lot to already watch. If anything, what? Cassava's that's up 20%. How did I miss a short in this? The short I missed today was in Moderna, because Moderna was an absolute dumpster fire. Cassava Science is up 19% and just running hard. I mean, randomly it failed 29 even, but why short 29? Let's zoom it out here. No, I don't think I would have. I would have been like fail $30 break. Like up here, it didn't even quite get there. No, Cassava Sciences, I didn't realize this stock had just tripled in the last couple of weeks. So yeah, I don't think I missed a short at all. I don't think I would have tried to short that stock. I missed Moderna today. That's the one. You know, it was a day two continuation drop. I loved it. It was a short I liked the most at the open yesterday, and then for some reason today, reasons being Nvidia, Amazon, Intel, and Snapchat, the four stocks that I had up, I missed out on an opportunity to short Moderna. I just think like downward trending stock is a bit different than an upward trending one.
Yeah, I think you're right about that one. Okay, so just real quick, man. Intel is that stock for me right now. It's making that move. Whatever NVIDIA does, we cleaned up a lot of that as it's trying to go back to the upside. So let's get a little nervous how as we get into, we'll just punch some, we actually just punched some 22s there. I thought I was bidding them, but we punched it instead. So we'll take a little bit out there on this play. I mean, look at this, man. Top of the morning to you, right back into VWAP. That's a banger trade right there, man. That's 1%, right? We just got 25 cents there on a $21 name. So that's a good move for Intel back. And we were able to really save sort of the results there from turning nasty on Intel. So that was good. They did turn nasty, but we did a little bit better job of sort of reconditioning that one back in. All right, here goes NVIDIA. It's right back to these levels again. The market just made a nice move. You want to, I mean, we could try this one more time. We're really making money on it. It's just, you know, we're being a little bit like, you know, scalpy with this. Good moves. And by scalpy, I mean, this could be the, you know, you could just only move you have all day. 106.40 right there to 105.85. Like that's 60 cents right there on the pullback, right? So pretty happy with it, pretty proud of our executions there on NVIDIA here this afternoon. Intel, we are just trying to get a little bit more out. It's trying to go for a run here as it looks like this whole sector now starting to pick up a little bit. We could check on an AMD. People saying Apple, we're still
AMD's holding the low right now.
Wow. I don't know why we didn't. I know I just looked at Apple when I was talking about it, but I didn't really realize it was made that kind of a move. I guess I should have. I don't know what I was looking at. 221 right there. Would have that been something to look at again? Yeah, probably. If you had to sort of thought that this market was going to turn around a little bit. There has been past support, and we've bought off this level before. So that could be something to look at right there for Apple, 221 flat if we come back in. So nice pullback on Apple there today.
Yeah, that's you would think the market would be dropping more if Apple lost 222. That's surprising, but I guess it snapped right back in. Two things. One, AMD triple bottom this afternoon at 131.80 that now I'll be looking at a chip name in the next 3 minutes when the imbalances come out, because I think that's an opportunity. If AMD comes out of sell, I think that's an opportunity there. And thank you for the super chat. Kazro O'Dub, appreciate you on the super chat. Put this on your note. Tesla sub 174 by next Friday. So, I mean, you've said it. I have an iPad that's like 1,000,000 years old in front of me. And I'm just literally going to type it. I'm going to type Kazro, and it'll take me forever to do this with one of these pens, and it just auto-corrected to Castle, my nephew, Tesla, and I'm going to put 174 Friday. So just for the record, I'm old, and I don't have, Sean knows I don't have the best memory like I used to, like no one does. But on Friday, I'm going to be able to look down, and we'll see where Tesla is. I don't think we're going to 174 in a 1 week.
Oh, Kazro, what's up?
I can see us breaking 120 and being in the the 190s. I don't see us at 174, but Tesla is capable of moving that far. That's extreme.
174, yeah. I mean,
in 1 week. In 1 week, look, it's possible. That's
I'm calling Monday.
That's only 15%. It's possible. But I'm thinking it's not that likely, just based on where it's trading right now, where the moving averages are. It feels like it's going to try to, I'm thinking sideways on the daily chart for at least a little bit of a consolidation is what it looks like to me, but we'll put it down.
Yeah, but write it down, and see what winds up happening there. So yeah, good call there. I mean, I wish everybody the best on that position if that's what you have and that's what you're looking to do right there. So let's wait to see.
It's very possible.
Very possible. I mean, it's down $30 in 2 days, but we had 2 epic days. So
that's why I think
$30 more would seem to be a little egregious, but not something that's not possible. That is for sure. So we only have 10% left of Intel, and I just thank God. We did get a lot out, though, when it fell into this 35, 36 area, kind of where we are right now. We were able to definitely hold and get something out at VWAP and at the 50 period. So, in hindsight, instead of celebrating everything when it was back breaking down through 20, I mean, I just thought this was a level that I'd given to Obi before and was talking about if we broke 2120, we could make that move down. And that's pretty much what happened right there, right? So, so far, so good back in. What just happened? Oh, we only got out of 75%, but we didn't put on anything else. So right now, NVIDIA, it is trying to go back up to the upside here. We still have a little piece of this action as we only got on 75%, but we kind of thought this would happen to us. We said that this was, definitely something to look out for with NVIDIA. So that's why we stop out right there, breaking through that 60 level. And that's the stop out. So right now you can see where we're short 47s. Yeah, a little bit in danger now, as there's only 1 minute left.
To go.
Okay.
My eyes are on AMD here. It could be, there was a sell imbalance on NVIDIA yesterday, but it wasn't right away. Like at 350, the imbalances came out, and then maybe 30 seconds after that, I feel like NVIDIA just sort of popped up out of nowhere for 6 million. I'm going to have those two stocks up, mostly because the level that AMD is at, that triple bottom that I was talking about. So if it comes out sell, I'm going to like it. If I see a big sell on like NVIDIA or something else, I might jump on over to that. But with 30 seconds to go, the early look was only TD Bank. And look, if TD's huge, just trust me, if sometimes it comes out a bit in Toronto and you don't want to punch short because it'll be a buy in one and a sell in the other. And the algos are just going to chew you up. So we'll be watching AMD and NVIDIA. 15 seconds till the last imbalances of the week, and we'll see what they happen to yield. Sometimes it's nothing, and I can have my hands off the keys. But if I can have a quick opportunity on a sell imbalance to punch a chip name, I will take that shot. So here we go. Any second now, and they just came in. NVIDIA is a sell of 6 million.
Yeah, we got a nice sell. We got a nice fill on NVIDIA. So we do wind up holding the rest. We told you we got it at 75%, but then we kind of feel a little sluggish there because we just got that fill right there at 106 flat. So that was a good one. We did hold a little. I mean, we told you that we were holding 25% of it. So we'll actually make money on that trade now. So ho-hum on that now. NVIDIA now $1 and change in the money. Again, you don't get stopped out there. Then this is a much bigger trade. But we got stopped out of 75% where that takes. And so if we're going to lose, again, 14 cents on 75% of our trade and then make it on 25%, make 65 cents on it. Plus now in the money, that's not too bad. BAC, I got to clean this up just a little bit here. Activate this for the source so we only see NYSE or NASDAQ names. There it is, TLT, who cares? I mean, some people do, but it won't move too much. Amazon's a bid, which is nice, saving my account a little bit. As you guys know, we bought some down there at 161 today. Intel's now falling a little bit. We'll take some more 31s now on Intel. There's a couple fills there as we get out of that one. And right now, probably just do some more damage control. We can get out of NVIDIA. That might flip around again. So the NASDAQ being down 3% is yucky for sure.
13 paired.
Broadcom continues a little bit with the sell. I'm not really seeing. I mean, Marvell's a name that we talk about sometimes, but not often unless there's some sort of earnings. Snapchat put together a buy right here. So Snapchat's $1 million to buy about. And that's kind of going downside. So yeah, some of these names continue to be a little bit weak, including our Intel. We're 25 cents in the money on Intel, and we're 50 cents in the money on NVIDIA to close the day.
So I did hit the key when there was a sell imbalance. I just didn't get the fill on AMD. I suppose I could have used a stop order, but I wanted to actually see a sell imbalance and then try to punch. The other way to go would just be like, if it's a sell imbalance on NVIDIA, AMD's probably going to break the bottom there. It did. But no, I'm not going to chase it, not at 352. As you mentioned, Marvell has a bit of a sell, but I think you said a sell. We usually get Marvell at the end of earnings season, and they're the end of the month. And they're usually good for something. See, this is why you don't chase it. As you get to closer to 355, very likely imbalances pair, stocks go in the other direction. You want that first initial move, like Sean just showed you on NVIDIA. If I don't get that, like the other day, NVIDIA gave you one of those if you punched that right away. I was on the level 2 of AMD for that flat bottom break. And there was a scalp trade in there of about 50 pennies very quickly in about 1 minute, but you're not going to chase the bottom. Only 7 minutes to go. There was a buy imbalance on Amazon and BAC. Amazon 2 million, BAC 4.6 million. Those aren't terribly, I mean, Amazon's is kind of big, but for BAC at $37 stock, that's not that big of a deal. No. Amazon's at 2 million, already starting to pull back in. Again, if you get it right away, there's a trade. If you don't get it right away, usually it's going to get paired off, right? Like they put it out there publicly so that people can pair the other side of it without actually moving the price. That's the reason it's there. So if you don't get the first move, I don't want it.
Just to check back on DraftKings. DraftKings trying to make a move back at the end of the day. I mean, I hope everybody had a safe week for sure. I mean, hopefully your accounts didn't get too blown out there today. There's been a lot of strength in some names off the bottom. I mean, including, and I know Apple's going to the downside, but Apple did have a really nice bounce today off of that 214 level all the way back up here to 224. Wow, though, now coming back in, which is not great for business. We did get a nice push down in NVIDIA there today as well. That bounced off 101.50, so that's another level to watch out for next week. So many trades next week. Again, man, every week there's something, that's for sure. Intel gets absolutely roasted today, that's for sure. Our TQQ trades back and forth. We actually ignored it at the end of the day. We probably should have taken these 59s. We went back and forth with this today. Pretty okay. Just battled a lot with VWAP right there. Some good shorts, some good longs. At the end of the day, all of them stopped out, but not necessarily for any damage done, just nothing really there. We should have came back to this actually and just shorted the NASDAQ instead of trying to find levels on NVIDIA. But we're done with all of that. We didn't really try anything else. A name that was Uber today, broke through 60. Found a bid early, I guess, and probably should have just kept on looking at that 58.50 coming into play there for Uber. So that's something, I guess. We can look at that next week. Intel, man, nice move back. So we have.
So NVIDIA is still 5 million, but it's probably going to pair in 10 seconds. Yeah. So it's 355. I just wanted to point out, like, it's still a big sell imbalance on NVIDIA, but with 5 seconds until 355, expect this number to change dramatically. You might even see it disappear. We'll just see. There's the update. Now down. Now I saw a flash of 1.3 to buy. Now, so went from sell to buy. Amazon stay to buy. NVIDIA flipped from a sell to a buy imbalance. This is the reason we always say. I mean, I know the two of us always say, and anybody else I think that trades any imbalances at 355. Maybe you want to make a decision to put a trailing stop in if you're trading the imbalance, because that's what can happen. It was fantastic on the way down, but that hits, it's now $1 to the upside, and the algos are just going to chew you up on that. Still holding the 107, but it is headed back into said upside. Someone in the chat just mentioned Lockheed Martin to me, so I'm just going to point out with 4 minutes to go. Chart of the week is this. Chart of the week. That's what happens when there's a lot of conflict in the world, I suppose, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like that.
A lot of conflict.
You don't like the reasons why a stock like this does this, but at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to have it.
Yeah,
I don't own it. I don't own it, but wow. For
sure. Yeah, that's a good one, man. Good chart of the day right there for sure. All right, we'll put on another trade here, see if we can get some exhaustion in this NVIDIA sort of imbalance. I don't know if it's going to work or not. We just got some 70s out on this. I'm just giving it to 107 just to try, because we just did blast higher there on that move. It's still going to, it's going to take it. All right, it's fine. We were able to get some out. We just didn't do anything there. We got a piece out. We told you we had less than 5% left. So we just tried to put something on against this 107. There it goes, breaking out. So that's fine. NVIDIA, pretty good today. We were able to battle back from that first hit that we had there. I was just trying to play like a little bit of a retracement back in on NVIDIA in case that level gets away from us. There's Amazon right there, 1.1 to buy. So that's going to finish near the high of the day. Amazon, actually.
Amazon.
168.50. So that's real good. And then there's NVIDIA still. Oops. I can't click on it. There it is. Okay, there's NVIDIA right now. 8. Okay, going higher now. See that bid? Just getting higher, lower. With just a couple minutes left. I mean, if it goes one way, we could probably trade it that way. But I don't even see it anymore. So yeah, just get ready for
it's snapping all over the place.
There's over 430 million shares today on NVIDIA, guys.
And the paired volume is 21.5 million. 21.5 million interest in this close. So the fact that it's now down to 1 million, the last of it can get snapped up really quickly. Snapchat's a buy as well, but I mean, at this point, when you're down that much, the fact that it's a buy imbalance never really seems to impress me that much, because that could just be somebody that's been short the whole day and like, I've won. Let's just cover it in the auction. I suppose it could be that. Ford is a big sell, and I can't believe Ford is at $10 and we didn't talk about it. Yeah, not a good day for Ford. BAC, as I said, it's not really that big of a deal with only 2 minutes to go. I am obviously not going to take any positions. I did swing and miss on an imbalance trade on AMD, but again, sometimes you're fast enough to get the fill. Other times the algos are just faster than you. I'm going to watch NVIDIA because it's the hottest stock, and I want to see if it can close anywhere near the highs. I think it would be a great sign if NVIDIA doesn't necessarily dump at the end of the day here. Tesla, by the way, did scream higher. And Snapchat, yeah, that's about to make a fresh low of the day. That's why I was kind of mocking Snapchat there.
Yeah, Apple too. Apple down to 219 and looking lower here.
What?
So, yeah, I mean, well, that's where it was. So there's the dump through 220 back
221?
in. Yeah, no. Nice little move down there for Apple at the end as they sell it off. So we were lucky enough to get some out there today, and pretty lucky about that for sure. I agree with Neil. It'd be nice if all of these names, especially the ones that reported today, like Amazon. You know, we didn't look at SOFI at all. Where are we on that one? 408. I'd like to see that a lot higher. 390. Not 390-ish is a very good buy zone for Microsoft. We'll figure that out. Let's see where Tesla ends. We do have that call of 170 next week, so we'll see where that comes into play again for us on Tesla. But yeah, man, everything's been pretty good here. All right, that's that. I'll see everybody on the recap show.
Raider, Trader, and AMC.
Yeah, we have Raider Trader coming for
AMC,
sure.
because
AMC.
everyone cares about AMC. No, we care about Andrew Raider and his opinions in the market, and it's always good fun. I know you're going to enjoy it. It should be an absolute banger of an aftermarket. There's so much to go over, and you can dive into all of it in just a matter of 20 seconds. We'll wrap things up. And remember, hey, Stonks, everyone put their bets in at stonks.com. You know, I have 420 on AMC. I'm just saying, that's where I think it's going to be at 4:30. So check out stonks.com as well. I'm sure you guys will talk about it. But oh my goodness, I didn't have the countdown. That's my bad. Ring it right now.
Oh, we're closed. We're closed. Okay.
Yeah, I lost track of it. That's on me, man. I lost track of it. I'm yapping away. I'm turning, looking at Sean.
Have a good week. I better go over
enjoy
and do this. Yeah, good luck with everybody. I'll see everybody on the recap show. Have a good luck trading.
And everyone wish Sean a fantastic trip. He's going to London. So
and I'll see everybody in 2 minutes.
We'll send you on over to the desk there. So a couple of things. The NASDAQ closes down 2.5 points. The ES 1.9 to the downside. Jaspreet kept telling me in the chat that SGMO was running, but that's a penny stock, and why not? I mean, you got me curious because I kept seeing that same stock over and over again. Yes, apparently that stock is going. Aftermarket tonight, it is going to be AMC. That is the thing to watch. Are the apes going to win? Are they going to lose? Are we going to have one of these? Or is that thing going to be going to the downside there? Shout out to Fabian on the ones and twos all day there. Ramin was away, but Fabian certainly did play. And I want to give a big, big thank you, not just to Adara, doing everything that she does, but on the midday with Obi, filling in for Sharif, who's going to get a long weekend in their lessons of the day, trading intel, giving you guys fantastic insights, and he'll be sitting next to me when Sean's off in London. So, look, it's been a wild and crazy week. It was a heck of a lot of fun trading because we got so much volatility, and it's not really going anywhere. But you're not going anywhere either. Why is that? Because there's still the aftermarket show to come. Lots to recap, AMC earnings. You've also got Raider Trader, and you've got those bets on where, the free bets, on where AMC is going to close at stonks.com. Like I said, I got 420. What do you have? Heading on over to the desk, we've got Adara and Sean. It's your market recap.
All right, we're here, everybody. Welcome to the show. As we go, quite a dangerous day again in the market here today. Back-to-back jacks there. If you're looking for downside movement, man, what a good end of the week. I mean, the Fed came. We sent that market up 3% there on Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, we gave back 3% again both days to end pretty red right there. July, not a great month. Following back with August, the first 2 days in August, pretty nasty as we go SMH downside. Here's the cues to end the day. I'm just going to drop out a 3-minute chart just to show you. It was pretty volatile there today, especially early. Not much happening at the end of the day where the market kind of remained pretty range bound there, back and forth with the NASDAQ, but at the end of the day, down 2.4%. Not a great move. Downside and led by the SMH. The SMH, what a bad little run this name's had. We talked about SOXL as well. AMD downside. And actually, before I say AMD was down, no, AMD basically finishes flat on the day. The big names today, we heard Neil talk about ASML down 9%. NVIDIA today down. Actually, NVIDIA recovers nicely into the close, that's for sure, as we were net short NVIDIA, and then it blows up. NVIDIA now only down 1.4%, so actually not that bad. The SMH got killed today because of one name, and I'm not even sure of the weighting in this, but Intel today down 26% as that just gets absolutely destroyed one more time there. It's funny because we'll have Raider Trader coming on, and I'm going to ask him about a few things. A sector that he's really liked is energy and XLE, but that's getting absolutely cranked to the downside as well. And then another one there that we'll talk to him about is going to be the Russell, because the Russell not having a good time, man. Great breakout there and quite a pullback into 208 there today. Big reports today, Adara. We had Amazon, which floated down to the 200 period down there as well. I bought some in the own PA today, both in swing and long term. I really think there's a good opportunity for Amazon to bounce off this. Gap filled, baby. I mean, people say that all gaps get filled, and right there, this one did. All the way back to 160 again today for Amazon, but all's not lost. If you were able to be patient early on, there was that 161.50 area there on AMZN that did come back in there. So nice move upside there for Amazon to close at its highs. It is a nice sign to see when a stock does close up there, especially after it was SSR at one point. But how much of this bounce back up is SSR related? I mean, it might all be. We'll see what it does on Monday, hopefully holding this 169. XLF, look, we all thought that we could hide at some point in the financials. Well, hide no more, because that is pulled all the way back in as well, back to $42. Just been a pretty nasty day overall, just for the indexes. I mean, the only thing up, the Treasury, we talked about that, the 20-year, nice upside movement, actually taking out levels today as well. I thought gold hit an all-time high earlier today. It did, but then pulled back near the end of the day to actually wind up just red there. Wheat and XLP, what's up with that? Consumer staples taking out levels. Wow, 52-week high alert for XLP today. What's up with that? That level gets taken up to the upside. Tesla, Adara, downside. Oh, man, all the way back to the 200 level. There, anything impress you or get your attention here today?
Yeah, today I think was really interesting that Amazon 167 hold that we had. You were in that short as well. I got short when we broke below that. That was really fun. Amazon and Apple both giving some nice little scalp opportunities there. But one thing to talk about as well is the VIX. The VIX was up. I want to shout out, I think it was Scott H in the chat who was pointing out the VIX. I was able to take some scalps in the VIX. I know Obi was looking at that as well. So VXX, or however whatever you like to trade the VIX as, I think was a really fun one. That was one way to play all of this wild volatility that Sean was just alluding this week and today.
Yeah, very, very good. Very good little recap there, because today's volatility was all over the place. We even have Eli Lilly here. As I come over here, we can look at all the screens here. Here's Eli Lilly down 3.3%. The market experienced a flush on Friday as traders reacted to an unexpected drop in non-farm payrolls. So we had some bad employment numbers that came through early, 114 versus 176. Unemployment came in at 4.3% compared to 4.1%. So that was not good. We had speak from Barkin and Goolsby addressing the prince during their speeches and not saying too many nice things to go, as it looks like now rate cuts will be at 0.5 point come September. Big players like Apple, wherever Apple is in here, right there it is right there. And Amazon came through with their reports today as well. Obviously, Amazon down that 9%, which is right over here. That not well treated by the market. They reported after the bell. All the Mag 7 names have now come and gone. We wait for NVIDIA to come through at the end. The consumer discretionary sector sold off with weakness in Tesla and Amazon. So that definitely started the consumer staples side to the downside. Look, Walmart today, a name that I really like, down 2%. We talk about this with Nas all the time, and that is that buy stocks that are holding up well in down markets. So although although Walmart today downside 2%, I actually feel like this is holding that 50-period moving average. And if you're not into Walmart, I don't mind this play. I mean, obviously, if we're going into a recession, you don't want to have too many consumer-sensitive names. Walmart or Costco. I remember when we were talking about, someone asked, it was my father was actually in the chat, and I mentioned to him, he said, oh, let your father know about Costco or something like that. And I said, you know what? We have a little bit more action to go. And that one was down here at 840. It has broken through the 50-period moving average. Now we'll wait to see an 800 break firm on Costco. Eli Lilly had a bunch of news this week of back and forth. Some of their Mangiano or Wegovy or whatever product theirs is there, the GLP-1s, had a nice little discovery. I think it was yesterday that they could be used for multiple things other than weight loss disorders and whatnot. But then today hit back to the downside. Look, Eli Lilly, no matter how you want to classify it, obviously it's a healthcare name. And it's in the XLV, which I really like, which now broke through 52-week highs today again. Probably pulled back because I don't see it green on my chart. But Eli Lilly trades a lot like a tech name.
Oh, yeah.
As this rips and comes back in, I feel like there's some definite opportunities here to be picking some of this up. But, you know, we'll have to wait to see because the oral medication for this sort of idea here with the GLP-1 is definitely something to keep your eye on right there as well. But, yeah, that's what came in today. We did have a report early from XOM. Is AMC's not out yet, I don't think, is it?
No, it's coming out at 4:20, which feels weirdly apt for it to come.
Yeah, it might not even come out at 4:20.
Isn't that so on the?
I wonder if that's part of it, right? So obviously we'll think about that.
Meme season.
Oh man, I'm tired, Caesar.
I napped on my floor last night.
Man, I traded thousands of shares of NVIDIA today. By the way, I was looking at my blotter. Wow, we went pretty crazy on that stock for sure. By the time we're done. All right, XOM reported nice little movement up to 120, then falling back into the 50-period moving average. We'll wait to see if XOM can hold forward here. As some of the oil names, right? OIH, we can go over to see the Van Eck Oil Services. We just talked a little bit about XLE as that's pulled back in. OIH, another one. USO is oil itself. So the United States Oil Fund drops below the 200-period moving average. I feel like lower gas prices. I mean, with the election coming in under 90 days now, I believe it is, obviously energy and the price at the pump may sort of swing votes one way or the other. What is the energy policies and how's that coming through? So we'll have to wait to see about USO and some of these other things to the downside. XOP, there it is, man. Oil and gas, boom, to the downside. A lot of these levels break, man. A lot of us can, and this is why we have guys on like Brian Shannon and Michael Noss, and now we're going to have Andrew come on and everybody, Chris Bretcher, whoever we have, Daniel Shea, just run through it, man. You know, you look for key levels. But the thing is when they break, then you actually ask yourself, what's next? You could have a stop order in here all you want, but when you wake up today and it's halfway down, then you got to worry about where exactly you're getting out. Do you punch the bottom or do you wait for a rebound back up to the upside? I'd like to get a refund on some of the trades I made today for sure as those come through. Look, the SPY not nearly as bad as the NASDAQ, but still getting hit, right? The NASDAQ today turned correction territory as we went down over 11% from its highs. Now, this was 565 were the highs in the S&P 500. You're now down to 532, so you're only giving back about $30 on 560. So you're down like 7 to 8% or so on the SPY, not nearly as much as the NASDAQ, as that has fallen back into correction territory, down now 12% or so. It might be 11, depending on where this number lies right there, down 2.5% today, back into 440. We're coming up to some levels. So let's get ready to rock and roll with some of those levels right now. If you're checking about AMC, again, not out yet. I'm not going to worry myself with this stock. When the numbers come out, some of you have made some plays. AMC, it's out?
No, I'm just saying I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, she'll let us know.
Guys, that was
no problem when it comes out. I saw the thumbs up over there. But as you can see, AMC right now finding itself in a territory, right? That bottom 425, 430, that top 580. If you're able to play the outside ranges here, it's been good. But caught inside right now, you're kind of just waiting for something to happen. Hopefully it goes one way or the other for many traders. Do you mind finding what the implied move was? Did you already get that down?
Yeah, I have it in the notes. It was 11.5%.
Right, 11.5% implied move. The last move was just 4% there for AMC. Obviously, we had this huge move up there as we talked about with Roaring Kitty and whatnot, and that's sort of gone by the wayside here, especially GameStop. I'll talk to Andrew about some of these plays to see if there's anything in the options market or if he's looking at GameStop or AMC or anything like that. I feel like AMC might be fool's gold coming into earnings. Play it after, and you can see the moves. But honestly, GameStop is coming into some scary levels. We haven't heard anything about this stock in a while, I feel like. And now you have pretty much 8 of the last 10 days or so downside right there. Not great. There's a lot of names that don't look too great. We've drawn this little channel here when GameStop was breaking out, and that channel was 20 to 24. Obviously, we use this 24. We can extend the line out. Now we're breaking below it. So now really the only thing you're left to do is wait to see if we can bounce off $20 for GameStop. Yeah, everybody that's in the chat, man, thank you so much for being here. And we want to welcome everybody as we have over 2,300 on a Friday, which is fantastic for us. And we wait to get Andrew all locked and loaded, which it looks like we are. GDX also with a downside move, and then gold coming back into play right now as well. So, all right, man, yeah, we're ready to rock and roll, man. We're not losing any sort of an energy side here for us, and let's go kick it up right now with what's become a good friend of mine and a good friend of the show's. It's Andrew Rader, and it's Trader Talk. Let's go. All right, Andrew, how are you doing on this Friday?
Sean, it's so good to see you, man.
It is. Thank you so much for accepting the invite over here to a show that I'm very, very proud of. It's the Market Recap Show. We crush it on earnings. We don't have too much today. We may interrupt if AMC comes through and there's something happening with AMC, but wow. An old man like me in my heart might not be able to stand the market over the last couple of days. Any sort of Me and you have gone back and forth about this. You were calling seasonality. You were saying we could get a little flush here in the market. So congratulations to you and some of those calls. Any opinions here over the last couple of days and what you've been seeing?
Yeah, so right off the bat, just a few basics. I don't know if you want to share my screen here.
Sure.
But this has been kind of the chart we've been referencing, at least this was the Trust Me Bro chart.
Yep.
You know, we throw a couple of Trust Me Bros out there once in a while, but all jokes aside, this is my seasonal game plan and based off of, kind of market structure. Of course, the main thesis of this was both the seasonality as well as, of course, just the conditions of the market and being in wave 3. And I believe we have completed our wave 3 and we are somewhere around this right here. So we're entering a wave 4, which is typically from a structural standpoint in the market, very choppy, very volatile, and can kind of take back a lot of gains as it's less trending in one direction or the other. So this is a period where I would definitely caution, traders and whatnot to kind of slow down, maybe get in, size less, not get so aggressive as these last few days have been for me personally, shorting home builders, shorting tech, and capitalizing off of that. But honestly, moving forward, there's a few things we could talk about. IWM, even a bounce trade that I think is going to do well in semiconductors like that. But I don't know if you want to dig into that quite yet. If that's what you want to dive into.
I've just marked it down here on the chart because I want to track it. So right here, the SPY, that little seasonal bounce. And again, it's very hard, and we don't expect anybody to call anything to the dollar, even to the $5 on a $500 name. But I've marked this down here on the SPY in and around that 523, 521 level for a potential bottom area where you're sort of been looking there. So we'll mark that down there again. Okay, good job on that. All right, yeah, the IWM. Look, I mean, we've talked about this over and over again as this rate cut seems to be happening, right? In September now, it looks like that wave will be 50 points back down. Maybe we'll get a full point by the time this year's over. We'll see what happens come the winter months. But yeah, IWM, a couple ugly days again. And I feel like this is to be expected, man. I mean, we could sit here, and I was sort of saying that we look like geniuses all the time, Andrew, when it breaks higher and we say, we're playing the breakout and we're long. And then it comes all the way up here and they're like, uh-oh, we wake up the very next day and it just basically drops $5, $10 on us. And plus you have this big candle that happens. I feel like this is all to be expected, especially when you're in the IWM and you're looking for breakouts. You kind of have to be able to stomach these moves. We've talked about this. I think it was yesterday you super chatted and you came in our chat and talked a little bit about the IWM. I feel like we're right at that level right now where it's going to be make it or break it. It's back to the 50-period moving average. I would say for a longer-term play, maybe 200 coming into play pretty soon. Again, opinions on IWM, as I know this is something that you guys look at.
Yeah, definitely. So as far as what we plan for moving forward, of course, since we are in what we believe to be a wave 4, I think we are quite extended. And if you just want to show my screen for just a brief second, this right here shows kind of the options market. Again, when I reference, when we say extended, what does that mean? Because stocks can go to zero. We all know that. As far as what we mean extended, mechanically, there are responses in the market that market makers are kind of obligated to do, money managers, funds in general. When markets drop too deep into put walls, there is a mechanical response to then buy it up. And so I believe we are getting deeper into these put walls at around 530, 535. This is where we're going to see a bigger response. Now, more specifically on IW and SPY, to time both of these bounces and where I think the bottom in IWM is, I think right now we have set a technical bottom on SPY. And what does that mean? It's not literally the bottom. It's just where you set a technical bottom. In every market bottom, there's two bottoms. There's a technical and then there's a liquidation bottom, which is the climax of selling. And then you get that fast reversal to the upside. So as far as this weekend, I'm actually going to be looking into IWM further to find that liquidation level. But I think we are very close. I believe between the 7th and the 12th of August, we're going to get a bounce in small caps. And as you said today, I saw you mentioning before I got on here, staples and utilities. Those were two that I really liked. And those are going to continue to do well, I believe, as those were kind of the defensives that didn't get picked up in the initial rotations.
I think we also had a good little look there with you. Thanks for all that. And again, I think that's something that's important that a lot of people in the chat noticing as well, doing the homework, right? I mean, it's easy to come on and look at levels. You got to dig deeper. Sometimes it's not just about looking at one chart. Thanks for bringing up all that talk there on the options side of things as well. Healthcare are actually doing really well. XLV, I want to join that as well with the XLUs and what we were just talking about, starting to go back up to the upside. Do you ever trade anything in TLT land here? I mean, this has been quite the move for the treasuries back up to the upside. I kind of leave those alone. We don't talk too much about this. Is this something that you're familiar with, or you can say pass on this as well?
Oh, no, yeah. I took a trade for September contracts back in, I want to say February on TLT. I poorly mistimed it, but this was something that we were looking for, was a breakout in TLT along with this. However, I honestly think that with the hype in TLT right now, in the sell-off in a lot of these names, I think honestly, money managers, if you will, firms, whatever, I think they've mistimed the sell-off as far as for the recession. I don't think it's going to come quite yet. We talk about recession. It's happening before our eyes, we feel like, but I feel like a lot of this is mistimed, and there will be a little bit more pain on both sides before we get some sort of juicier move that, bears like to see the world burn, but it never does it?
No, it never does. And that's what I was going to say. I mean, we keep on. It's always like we never know we're in a recession until we're out of it. That's what I always get the feeling. Like people are like, we just had a recession. Okay, just quickly here, Andrew, going to have to push you off to the side a little bit just for 1 second because we do have AMC.
We do.
So right now, AMC is out. And I'm going to hit this. Breaking. There it is. We got breaking news now with AMC. Relatively, it's not moving that much. Maybe that was a little too dramatic with that breaking news there. All right, Adara, break it down for us. What do we got on AMC? Not really moving too much here in the pre-market. Gets up to 513 and now pulling back to 505. What do you got, Adara?
Yes, they reported quarterly total revenues here of $1.030 billion. A net loss per diluted share coming in at 10 cents. So the estimate, that's exactly in line with estimates. Their EPS loss of 10 cents per share. Let's see what else. I'm just looking to compare it with what they said last week. So this is exactly in line with expectations. Last week, they did say for their guidance, their preview, the numbers they previewed are basically the exact same numbers they reported, as far as I can tell. As we get more things coming out there, if we do, I'll let you guys know. I put those numbers earlier in the chat as well. EPS, 10 cent loss per share. We also had revenue of $1.030 billion.
Perfect. Thank you, Adara.
Thank you.
Andrew, how often do you look at, again, short float names? Is that something that you put into some sort of a metric or anything when you're looking at options, trying to calculate prices, trying to calculate possible moves? Because AMC, again, with 18% or so short float, would this ever be something that you'd look at? I sort of reviewed this earlier, stuck in a range. I'm not really interested in anything like this until we break out. So that would be $5.75 or even to the downside in and around $4. Any quick opinions there? I don't know if you heard the numbers, but nothing too exciting right now on AMC. Trade ideas or anything here?
A lot of those high short float names, since I do trade options, they don't have great spreads, so it is kind of tricky to play. However, there are times in the market where these are in play. Carvana, Bed Bath Beyond, which was a big one back then, but also other names as well. These names, there's like almost like like there's crypto alt season and things like that. There's also a season, and you'll be able to spot these in the market especially when you come down to like some sort of market bottom, a liquidation low. The most beaten down names get bought up quickest, and so that's often the time, which you'll probably see within the next 2 months or so, a lot of these short name squeezes off the lows, and those are going to be where we're going to look into. Of course, I have to be a little more careful with option spreads, but I do look at a lot of those. Okay, cool. Yeah, I feel like you're right. Timing is all about everything, right? Especially when we are using short floats, and you got to make sure you're all over that. We showed you the last time. I don't know if you saw that or not. Like, did you log into that YouTube when what was his name? Roaring Kid. I forget his real name. Keith Gill. Keith Gill. That was funny, man. He came on. He was all beat up there in his cast and everything like that. There was never a moment where I was like more hyped up, and I don't think I actually lost more money on GameStop in any other day than that one, when he was like threatening to turn it off and threatening to do that. Wild stuff. Andrew, when you have a stream like that, please let me know. I'd love to check in on something like that. But he's more of a joker at this point, I feel like. But hey, we'll see what happens with the market. I don't know if you saw DraftKings. You sent me a note that you were pretty busy today, but DraftKings right here. This was a name that I was warning a lot of traders about. They came out with a report today. Not great.
great, down that 10%. And I sort of thought that, hey, if the consumer is showing some signs of weakness, we've seen Starbucks to the downside, Nike to the downside, and people are having choices now. And I'm not sure they're choosing to spend whatever money they may have on gambling anymore. But DraftKings right now with a nice push to the downside. I'm thinking we're getting close to maybe an area of support here on DKNG. Is this a name that potentially you'd look at, or anything earnings side? I'll give you open floor right now. Anything today that sort of caught your eye? I noticed DraftKings, and it was my number one name today because we were just shorting pops all day.
Yeah, no, specifically with DraftKings and a few other names, I heard you mention Nike. I actually traded long Nike last week. But a lot of these names, especially within consumer discretionaries, like we talked about, Tesla, of course, is the big one. I do believe we are quite extended to the downside. Again, when I say extended to the downside, that doesn't mean, go and buy tomorrow. But what that means is we're going to be, now our focus is going to shift from, of course, getting puts to, okay, when are we going to time the long? Because that's a better risk to reward trade. So I believe Tesla, that's definitely one to look at within consumer discretionaries. But also, I took quite a big position in ANF short, Abercrombie and Fitch, which I did capitalize on this week. So we'll see how that goes. But I did sell most of that. But I do think that Nike and DraftKings as well has some more upside to this once it starts to slow down a little bit more.
Hi, thanks for being here with us today. I know in the past, when past times you've been here, I know you've discussed the banks, particularly JPM. We had quite the sell-off today in JPM and a lot of these major banks, and with bank earnings a couple weeks in the past. Are there anything you're looking at in this space right now?
So banks as well, I'm going to dig into this more this weekend, but specifically, I think because we are getting into these put walls, they will see somewhat of a temporary bounce. But the banks in general, I am bearish on. I've been bearish on these for quite a while now, specifically Citigroup, ticker C. That was relatively one of the weaker banks, and I think sticking to those will be good. Also, regionals, KRE, if you look into that ETF, those were getting hit very, very hard this week, and I think that goes along the kind of sell-off within small caps and these more rate-sensitive names.
Yeah, great look right there as we continue to talk about everything on the show. Again, what a bloodbath it was. I mean, you mentioned sort of the waves that we're in. I think this is what happens in the markets, right? We have to take advantage of these times. I've said just as a day trader, the last couple weeks, man, has been fantastic. We had a great July just with the volatility in there. And if you don't mind me asking, what was your July like? Was it maybe extended? Were you taking some time off? I know there's a lot of traders that like to slow it down in the summer. For me, I don't really care about any of that. If the market's moving and stocks are moving, I try to find the names that are. What is your sort of theory with all of that? And if you don't mind me asking, how was your July?
Yeah, so specifically, typically when I take time off, again, coming from an options trader, is April and May. Those months are just absolute, HE double hockey stick to trade if you're an options trader. Premiums are just, you go nowhere. You gap up one day and then you sell off by open, and it's like, it's very difficult. But as far as July, I love July. July is typically very trending, especially with some of the perspectives that I look at through the market, seasonals, technicals, rotations, options, and option flow, reading that. They do very, very well during July, especially August and into September. August can be somewhat tricky, but so far in July, I've done very, very well shorting. And again, you kind of mentioned this, but a lot of people, showing up is just half our job as traders. Because if you miss I don't know what the statistic is, but it's like under 25 days of the year of the trading days are like majority of these big moves. So again, I think from top to bottom, even the SPY dropped in 8 trading days to where we are now. And it's hard to believe. People are like, dang, it just feels like yesterday. But yeah, it's been very, very well. And of course, a lot of that is patience, though. I'm not sitting here and trading every single day or, waking up and saying, I'm going to go trade now. It's, is there an opportunity? A lot of days I do find one, but ultimately it's just, is there one or not? Today specifically, it was just me closing out more positions than opening any because I was driving and we were selling off and there's really nothing to do. You just let it run. And if you can sell there, trim your positions and start to think about the next trade.
Hey, man, just push that full self-drive button, let the car drive you around and you don't have to really worry about it. And then you can just trade like a maniac while you're driving, but definitely keep your eyes on the road either way. All right, look, I want to thank you. I'm not going to keep you too much longer. We wrap the show up at 4:30. I promised you that for sure. I want to thank you for coming through. Again, is there one last thing? Is there a trade you want to talk about? We'll have a little bit of fun after this, but is there one idea? You just talked about closing out some ANF. You still holding on to any of that? Is there anything that maybe you're looking to happen early part of next week?
Yeah, so cybersecurity industry,
Okay.
CrowdStrike, look into a bounce into those. Those are going to be my big trades moving forward. Again, between August 6th and the 12th, I think there's going to be a nice bounce in the cybersecurity names. We might extend that into, maybe past option expiration, but I believe into the 16th, most definitely, you will see a rally in these beaten down names. CrowdStrike, look into cybersecurity.
Wow, great look there on CrowdStrike. I didn't even realize how bad that was beat up. A little bit of a bounce today at some point, but still closes down 3%. CrowdStrike on the way down. You play any video games there, Andrew?
Oh, I certainly do. I haven't recently, but I am looking to play. Honestly, I think in today's gaming world, I do occasionally play with my brother. That's the only person who I play games with. But honestly, a lot of AAA titles have been absolute garbage recently.
Really? Okay.
I'm sticking to play with like games like old games. Like I still occasionally play like Apex Legends, for example.
Nice.
I used to play as a kid. I don't really play sports games other than Rocket League. I'm a big soccer fan, so I do occasionally play Rocket League. But
Perfect. I love Rocket League, man. Rocket League's hilarious. Fabian's loving it. Fabian, hit that respect thing again. Check out the screen right here. This is a game that I can't wait for.
Mission Pass, that's right.
There we go. We got some Grand Theft Auto coming through with Take-Two. I'm excited for that. That might be the next video game.
We're gonna have Sean dunking before GTA 6 comes out.
We're gonna figure what before GTA. I'm already dunking. I mean, if you came here, I'd dunk on you.
That's right.
It's Neil.
At least filmed it. Find a phone that works. Yep.
Yeah, it's Neil that has the athletic problems over here.
That's right.
Not your main guy right now. Okay, Andrew. Look, enjoy the weekend. Thank you so much. Promise me we'll do this again.
Oh, we'll do this very soon. You just let me know.
Andrew Rader, thank you. Go find him. Google him. He's all over the place. It's Rader Trader. Thank you again for stopping by. That's Trader Talk, baby.
Yeah.
All right, man, this is how we're doing it over and over again. I do want to thank Andrew a lot for that. I mean, I reached out to him. He stepped up, he came through and presented as much as he could there, and that was a great job. Thank you, Andrew, for all that talk, and he nailed it, right? He's talking about the different waves that we're in. I think he's probably right. There is more pain to come, it looks like temporarily, but I still think it's a stock picker's market, and it might be time now. After the NASDAQ's just down 5% in August so far, I mean, I don't dollar cost average every month into the same names or even into the index, but if you're looking for a little bit of a pullback, 5% in the NASDAQ in the last 2 days might be something. We're down 11 and change. But hey, that's the show for now, but it's never complete until we do this.
Roll call.
All right, roll call is back, baby. We have over 1,800 now watching us. I do want to say thank you so much. And there it is right there. Look at this. Andrew is the shiz. Everybody likes him. I think shiz is probably a good thing. Yeah, probably T replaced with S, Z.
Like, yeah,
yeah, I get it. I'm just playing around. I know it's good. I have kids, you know. Yeah, Andrew is Sigma. Okay, now we're getting lost.
We're getting into a weird
all right, thank you so
portion.
much to Mr. Longshorts as he says, roll call. Thank you to Rivian Millionaire. Thank you to Bears vs. Bulls. He and I have had lots of conversations this week. I want to thank him for all the hard work that he continues to put in as the best moderator around. Mr. Dave Clark, thank you so much for that as well. Pineapple undies, we always talk about that. If you have underwear and they have pineapples on them, that's fine. But, hello, Warren? He always hangs up there. He wants the roll call. I'll shell you out. Uncle Warren, thank you so much for all your guidance as Coke and Apple have really paid off right there. Rich Naples, Mark L's here as well. Jack of all trades, crap stock. Okay. Adrian is here. Adrian, tell us, let's talk sports. Hey, let's talk sports. Anybody have some podcasts they want me to come on? I'll do a sports podcast right now. I am getting ready to go, man. We're ready, jacked up about the new NFL season coming through. EA just dropped that new game as well for college football game. That's pretty hype as well. Jay Haas is here. Bongzilla's here. Jersey Sean is here. You're close, Jersey Sean. You just got to replace that U with a W. So he says hi. Kyle Burnett is still here. So shout out to you, Kyle, who's been here all day. Oscarito. Adrian's always here. Consistently improving. I think this is very, very important. So shout out to that name as well. Bye, everybody. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Adara, we already know that you're going to be sleeping a lot is what you've said.
So much. Well, because like, you know, maybe you're cooking and then you're like, hey, before I eat, maybe I'll nap on my floor. And then that's the thing, you wake up in the kitchen and you're like, what happened to my life? And then you fall asleep, your contact falls out of your eye. Yeah, we had a moment, but we came back on a positive day. So maybe kitchen floor trades are the vibe, but sleeping.
A day in the life of Adara would be, I'm assuming, a trip.
It would, and I think you'd be asleep for a lot of that day.
I probably would be.
Fair warning. But, you know, I'm excited for the weekend, but I'm excited. Enjoy your trip to London.
Thank you. Yeah,
with
we should be
Marissa.
able to do that. It's a little bit of a quick trip, turnaround, but we'll be there, from basically Sunday to Thursday. Coming back, we do have some fish and chips. Yeah, we're going to have some short ribs and everything. We got St. John. We got some good reservations ready to go, and it should be a lot of fun. I'm going to try to go to the Bank of England as well. But we're 3 minutes past. I'm already on vacay mode. So I will see everybody very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching. For Adara, I'm Sean, and a big thank you to Andrew Rader as well. Go check him out all over the place. Thank you so much for watching. I'm back in a week or so. Until then, it's Obi, Neil, it's Fabian, it's Ramin, it's Brendan, it's Sharif, it's Adara, it's Obi, it's your Trader TV family, and we will see you soon. Have a great weekend. Ciao, everybody.
Bye.